All right, it says we're live. A lot going on this week, just trying to get one in. Um, and I think this one will be kind of interesting. So, so all right, you squares, the people that are in here, AB's in, I'm beaming in on transporter number 7. So I know this is kind of, I skip a couple days. One, yesterday I had something to do that I couldn't avoid. Um, so apologies. The Black Masculinist, what's going on? Michael Turner, Trell. Happy Friday Eve. He said some bit. Peace to all. 144K, right? Brian Will. I think that's a biblical reference for the rapture. 144K. Brian Will. Jim Rat. LXST. What's going on? Modern marriage equals no patriarchy according to Pastor Life. It's gonna change. Yeah, really, there really is no patriarchy left for the most part. We'll deal with that the patriarchy another day. DM, what's up? Ash, what's going on? Prince, Sam, what's up? Yeah, homeless is up at a record rate. Yeah, uh, yeah, the people could saw that coming. Even though I don't think that's all his fault, but he could have done something to kind of tamp it down. Had a soul, what's up? Ember, what's going on? Valeri, what's up? I said, how do you find a Muslim? Find a Muslim? He's okay, but there's some things that I disagree with him on the red pill, but I'll do that separately. But as far as his geopolitical stuff, I don't know if he's listening to me, but or we're just on the same wavelength. I don't know which one it is. Metacog, what's going on? Jimmy Howard, what's going on? Nothing new under the sun. That's true. Well, there is stuff new under the sun. Yeah, there is. But as far as human behavior, no. But that's going to change too. Craig, what's up? Can modern marriage be? Yeah, it sure will because women don't cook. It probably will. Probably be on the regular menu. Black in the middle. What's going on? T. Riddler. Lewis, what's on? What's going on, man? Man, price is gonna go way up in a minute, Lewis. Tony and DM. Okay. Uh this this was actually sent to me. Go back in my history real quick. YouTube, come on, act right, YouTube. It's actually sent to me. Because I actually first saw this on Lead Attorney. He did a portion of it. But and then shout out to Linnell. He emailed me the whole video. Okay, so go ahead and present it, and we're gonna react to this because there's a lot of stuff that he said. The lead attorney said a lot of this stuff. We talked about modern marriage and the what do you call it? The off-label uses of marriage. I think I put his up. He did about 30 minutes of it, and I actually put it up as a separate video. And and
My
this
divorce where I was.
this is a divorce attorney's thoughts on love and marriage. Okay, and what he says, because he's a divorce attorney, they see marriage as differently. So um, I said I'm going to react to this because a lot of stuff that he says is present day, and got to remember marriage was invented, give or take, 100,000 years ago. So to bring two people together to actually raise children by the clan, and then over time it evolved into something else. Like it changed in the major change happened when we started agriculture, and we were settled into one spot. Yeah, for sometimes hundreds of years, and towns grew out of this. So you had to have a different way of organizing people. Okay, so it changed. Marriage changed during the agrarian years, and then it changed when the Hittites invented what we called what we now know as patriarchy, which is like 3,000 years ago or so. Yeah, a little bit more. Maybe about 4,000 years ago, the Hittites came and changed modern marriage into the form we call patriarchy, right? Which is Western patriarchy. So that changed the way that marriage and coupling happened. And now the industrial revolution changed the way it started slowly but surely changing how we think about marriage and children and family formation. Okay. And now we're going through another phase, which is the high tech age, the digital age, is changing how we actually marry and form families. Right now, we're more atomized. So, and even that with being more atomized, uh, we've also extended how long we live. So uh, up until I said up until maybe the mid 16th century, okay, something like that. Um, Most people didn't live past 35 years old. Okay, so and you got married young, like 14, 15. But thing is, you were just old enough to raise children, and and you getting to 40 was probably not going to happen. So now we're living to 70, 80 years old. So what do you do? So modern marriage has changed a lot. OnlyFans and IG's changing marriage. You get now. There's always been porn, and then before that, OnlyFans, it was brothels. So actually, OnlyFans is just doing OnlyFans is just doing what brothels did back. God, how long ago? Prostitution's been around what 50,000 years. So all the digital age did was change the way prostitution is actually sold. So it didn't change anything. It didn't change marriage at all. But anyhow, so let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, for the underbelly. Yeah, yeah. I'll put the link in the chat. So let me go ahead and put the link in the chat for you guys. So you guys can go peruse it yourself. It's an hour long. I'm probably not going to get through most of this. Um, so we'll go ahead and get started so I can go ahead and react to it.
Really ambitious when it came to women, but then it felt like a job. Like it felt like a job after a while, where I was like, God, this.
Yeah, like a job after a while. That's why I went monk. Yeah, yeah. In fact, when I was young in my 20s, an older friend of mine, he told me he was in his 40s, and he said you get so many women. Basically, it's like having the same pussy with different faces. And I thought he was bullshit, man, until you start getting a lot of it. Then guess what? It becomes the same pussy with different faces. He's absolutely right. And her pussy is, especially when you get past 35, her pussy becomes not the most important thing. Okay. Uh, every now and then you get some exceptional pussy, but most time most time it's good to average. And I've had just like anything else. Okay, most pussies fall in the average range. You get some that's really good, that's popping, and then you get some that's terrible. Okay, but but the vast majority is in the middle. Because personally, I've had some stuff like, hey, I'd rather you talk to me. Anyhow, let's get going.
It's like enough. It's kind of enough. Like it's like when you've eaten so much that you just go like, ugh. I got that way with pussy. Like it really was like I just had enough. Like it was fine. I was like, this is great, but
well, when you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe your libido is strong. It makes you insane.
Yeah, I was not. I definitely was.
As we age, we mellow.
Yeah, which I think is great. Although I have to tell you, one of the most depressing divorces I ever did was a guy who was, I think, 92.
Oh, geez.
And what made it depressing is that he had left his wife of, I don't know, 50 something, 60 something years for a younger woman, a woman in her 50s. And I just remember what was sad about it to me was this guy is still being led around by his dick.
Yeah.
Like I thought, oh my God, like I'm going to be chained to an idiot forever. Like, I'm going to forever be led around by my dick. And I remember thinking, like, no, I really thought that at like 90 something, I would just, like, a beautiful woman would walk by and I go, oh, there's a human being. Like, there would be no.
Some guys have that libido, or they have that in their brain where it's always pussy. Okay, it's always pussy. Well, I guess it's a blessing and a curse, because uh, even now, man, at 60, I remember when I was in my early 20s, man, the rush I was used to get just by a good looking woman walking by me. And even though I don't miss the addiction, I do miss the rush. So what he's saying is 100%.
You can appreciate it without.
Yeah, there would just be no sense of like, yeah, that would be gone from me. And this guy's proof that 90 something years old and you're still thinking with your dick. Like,
we're doomed.
That terrified me. It really did. It actually upset me, because I thought at some point I'd get to experience what it's like to just be free.
You live in New York, where there's a financial industry. There's all kinds of industries here.
Oh yeah.
But to me, sometimes I wonder if female attractiveness isn't the highest valued commodity in our
100% it is. 100%.
It is.
Yeah, of course.
Because men are becoming rich and powerful in order to get a woman.
Of course.
The woman they want.
Of course. What an attractive woman. And when I say attractive, I don't just mean attractive. I mean even just sexually confident. I mean, what an unbelievably lucrative career that is. Like, I do divorces for people that, a woman walks out with $200-300 million. He was an analyst at Goldman Sachs who built a hedge fund and then sold it, and then used his trading algorithm to build it up to $500 million. She was hot and slept with him for a while and then stopped and started sleeping with other people and playing tennis and having Botox, and she's going to get half. Like, that's fucking incredible. Like, do you know what he had to do to get that? And what she had to, I'll fuck that guy for $200 million. Are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. That's incredible. Like, and God bless.
Well, they said women are human beings and men are human doings. And that's the trade-off, which in our modern era, that probably would have never happened. That hot, incredibly hot woman that he married that didn't contribute to anything would have been a concubine and not a wife. Okay. But that's our modern era.
I mean, I'm not saying that this is the rules of the game, but you can't argue that that's not easier than going to Harvard.
No, for sure. But then the payoff, the trade-off for that is that when they hit a certain age, the value decreases.
Right. Play any stock if you hold it too long.
Yeah, but you got $200 million. Okay. You cashed out. Doesn't matter what you look like after.
Go down, so play the stock the right way. I mean, and that's what I think. If we were a little more honest about the nature of male-female coupling, I mean, right now we can't even establish what is gender. We can't establish any of that anymore. So divorce is becoming incredibly hilarious and fraught.
Well, to me, what is, like, sometimes you have to stand back and look at things to get the real perspective on what it is. Sure. And sometimes you look back at marriage. So when was it invented? Like 2000 BC, roughly. And the life expectancy of humans back then was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And marriage was created for
land ownership
and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to die in your early 20s or whatever, then getting married at 16, 18 makes sense.
Well, I think there's a distinction that has to be made between
and they wouldn't get married at 18. They were getting married at 12 and 13. Okay. That's when they were getting married. So they wouldn't get married at 18. They were getting married when the woman was fertile enough. When she first had her first period, she was married off. So remember Romeo and Juliet, they were 13. Okay. They weren't 19 and 20.
Pair bonds and marriage, right? Marriage is a government concept. Marriage is a contract. Marriage is a legal status. Pair bonds, right? Two people go in it together, saying, hey, there's 7.3 billion people in the world, and the two of us, we're gonna lock up together and we're gonna try to hold hands and get through this thing.
So we're 80 years old.
Well, until whatever, I mean, what's interesting is, first of all marriages end. They end in death or divorce, but they all end. Like, every marriage ends. So it's one of the only things that you go, wow, I really hope this ends in us dying. Most things, that's not the desired outcome. But in marriage, you hope marriage will end in death. You hope that you will be together until one or both of you die. But all marriages end.
But
so
as a guy, as a provider, if you knew it was going to end and you were going to have to give away half your money, you might think twice about doing it.
Well, I think that's what makes being a divorce lawyer interesting, is that it's a lot of what a court has to do is disregard what happened in the marriage, because the truth is at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Like, you're never going to get there. Yeah, well, he's fucking his secretary. Right. Because you were not sleeping with me anymore. I have a client whose wife acknowledges she didn't sleep with him for 6 years. What did you think was going on if you didn't sleep with him for 6 years? So delegate. You've delegated that responsibility. If you don't want to have sex with him, that's okay. No one should force you to have sex with this person. Let him go have sex with someone else. You don't want to do the laundry.
We've kind of mixed up marriage and business. Marriage used to be a business. It used to be protracted. Even with my parents, it was an understanding. Okay, it was an understanding. The feminism has really grayed out and blinded marriage into something that it was never meant to be. So the practicality of marriage is gone. So it's really interesting.
Hire someone to do the laundry. If you don't want to mow your own lawn, hire someone to mow the lawn. Delegate that responsibility. And this guy wasn't even sleeping around. He was going to those hand job places, where you get a massage and get a the most pathetic thing in the world, the most innocuous thing in the world. He didn't have a girlfriend. There was no love involved.
She just needed a reason to divorce, and she didn't really care what he was doing with his dick. She just wanted divorce, and she just needed a reason.
He was getting jacked off for $50. Like, that's sad. Like, I mean, first of all, hand jobs, like, that's an outdated technology. That's like a Betamax, like, who even does that anymore? But he was doing this, and he just thought, okay, that's fine. She had the indignation to say he shouldn't be a custodial parent. He's a terrible person because he's doing this. And it was like, wait, how is that much different than going to a strip club? How is that much more different? Because we just, he was like, well, should I deny it? And I was like, is it true? And he's like, well, yeah. I said, no, we should own it. Let's go in and say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. My wife didn't sleep with me for 6 years, and I'm human, and I wanted to have sex still. I didn't want to blow up my life. I didn't want to screw up my kids and have my kids have divorced parents. So I thought, all right, she's clearly not interested in me anymore. I'm not going to have a girlfriend and get caught up in all the things where people could get hurt and there's feelings and fatal attraction and stuff. I'm just going to go. It'll be transactional, like going to a strip club or anything else. And is it a little pathetic that I'm a guy who makes $1 million a year in finance and I'm paying someone $50 to jack me off? Yeah, that's kind of pathetic. But you know what? I figured out. But to suggest that means I'm a bad parent, that has nothing to do with my parenting at all, period. So, and thankfully the judge agreed with me on that one.
Yeah.
But I really do think that the idea, I don't think, if you break it down fundamentally, 56% of marriages end in divorce. Like, think about, that's the ones that end in divorce. So how many people, what percentage stay together for the kids? Or because they don't want to give away half their shit? Another 10%? That's conservative. But let's say 20% then, okay?
That's at least right.
You now have a technology that fails 76% of the...
That is bizarre, okay? That is bizarre. And they wonder how come people don't want to get married. They really don't. They wonder. They know, but the thing is, it's just that it's female. In other words, they have to keep you buying into this system. And the government wants to keep you to buy into this system because marriage does stabilize families. It does. And you got to you got to socialize people into buying into this blue pill stuff. That's why we call it blue pill. You see how incredibly red pill, or really lawyers are not red pill, they're black pill. You can tell he's black pill because there's no morality in what he's saying. Okay. It is what it is. The thing that you can identify a black pill person, that everything when it comes to morality is just, they just say it is what it is. Okay. Because it's life, it's reality.
Time. That's insane. That's more likely than not. 76. If I told you there's a 76% chance when you walk out the door today, you're going to get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would not go out, or you'd wear a helmet for sure. But people just continue to get married. Not only do they continue to get married, there's a presumption that you should get married. And if you don't get married, there's something wrong with you. So if you've got a girlfriend and you've been with her for 5 years and you say to someone, we're getting married, they go, oh, that's great. They don't go, why? You're happy. Why would you get married? Like, everything's going fine. Why would you put yourself through that? Why would you run that risk? If you say to someone, we've been together 5 years and we've decided we're not going to get married. We're going to move in together, but we're not going to get married. Ooh, what's wrong? You have intimacy issues? What's your problem? Meanwhile, 56% end in divorce. It's literally.
That's why that's what the passport bros are saying, man. Why should you think about getting married here? And that is white, that is white people, right? White people. That's not black people. It's even worse with black people. 80% of black marriages in divorce. Black marriages only last 5 years on average. Okay. And black ones wonder how come the red pill, the black manosphere feels this way. They wonder why come black men are getting on planes or not marrying or going SYSBM or even, God forbid, going monk, right?
Fits the legal definition of negligence. It's a negligent behavior. The way you define negligence in law school is when what you lose by not doing something, okay, is lower than the risk of harm. It's what's called a BPL analysis. So the burden of not doing a thing is lower than the likelihood, the probability of harm. So BPL, so burden, probability, and loss. Mm-hmm. Marriage is an inherently negligent activity. It's like owning a lion. Like the likelihood of someone getting hurt seriously by this is very, very high. No one ever says it to you. Because why? Because, and I would say something, I've been doing this for over 20 years and I still get misty-eyed at weddings. Like I still really, there's something in me that goes like, maybe it'll work out for these two.
You still
like,
believe
it's
in love?
Sweet. I absolutely believe in love. I think love is wonderful. But love and marriage have very little to do with each other. I don't think there's much of a correlation there. And I think that's where we got off track. Like I believe in pair bonds. I believe.
Yeah, marriage was never supposed to be about love. It never was. In fact, for most of the history of marriage, it was all the marriage that's selected by the families. You never selected your wife. Okay, for most, like I said, marriage goes back 100,000 years. For most, I would say like 99% of the history of marriage, you did not pick your own wife. Only took, I think, the last a couple 100 years maybe, where you actually picked your own wife for love. Okay, it's insane.
I don't think I can learn everything I need to know about myself from myself. I think having someone around me who sees my blind spots, and that doesn't have to be a romantic partner. That could be a friend. That could be any number of things. But there is something wonderful about romantic connection. We know that. I mean, the other statistic is 56% of marriages end in divorce, but 84% of people who get divorced are remarried within 5 years of their divorce.
Really?
Let's think about that. So now you've done it and failed and felt the pain of the loss, and within 5 years, 84% are remarried.
So when you fall in love, and you're with a partner who's in love with you,
sure.
It's like hard to put the brakes on and say, you know what, that's as far as I'm going to go.
Well, I think whoever discovered water, it wasn't a fish. And I think when we're in a thing, we don't see it. And so, I mean, and this is true of any of us.
There must be some endorphins, something's being released in our brains.
It's not endorphins, basically. This is the blue pill. You're socialized into something. What did Fichte say? Give me the boy at 7. I give you the man. You socialize. You're surrounded by it. Disney, comic books, okay, all your literature, everything is based around what? 2 people getting married and having children. That's the way society moves forward. At least it has up until now, right?
Listen, you want to test that theory. The next time you're out with a couple who've been together for a while and it like seems like they maybe got in a fight or they're just like kind of being impatient with each other at the table, when you go like a group thing. Just say to them, so tell me about how you met. Tell me the story of how you met. And everything on them changes. Like they go back to that place. And there's this like, oh yeah, and she was this. Because for that second, you go back to that place. Like you can go, someone with a horrible divorce, if you could get them to go to that place and talk to you about that time. Like I would tell you something, when I was a kid, like every kid, you have the fantasy of like, if you were invisible, what would you do? You'd go to the girls' locker room, whatever. I have this fantasy that if I could be invisible, I have about 8 clients that I'd like to sneak into their house and find their wedding album. Like I know it's in the attic somewhere or something, because I would love to see what it looked like when these people loved each other, because they are weaponized against each other now, and we are trying to kill each other.
Well, they said, well, basically he's talking about the honeymoon phase, right? And the honeymoon phase does not last forever, okay? Because life will intrude and you have duties. What happens like when you first get a job? You might even love the job, right? First year, first 2 years, you probably absolutely love that job. But at some point when you have to go clock in, you're not gonna love it, right? Then it becomes work. You have to punch in every day.
And we're taking every secret, every intimacy, everything, and we're
at their ugliest.
At their ugliest, at their worst. And there's something in me that just the thought that like, you guys at some point you were like, there's 7.3 billion people in the world and you're the one. Like you're the one I just want to be with and smell and touch and like that feeling. We all know that feeling of like just the electricity of another person, and I think I'm a romantic at heart in the sense that I really get it. Like I really get why we do this. I felt it, I know it, I understand it. But tying that to the technology of marriage to me makes almost no sense whatsoever. And I actually think it's almost antagonistic to that connection with another person, because there's so much expectation that comes with marriage culturally. We've created so much stuff around it. Like when you marry someone, they're supposed to be, at least in the modern Western model, your best friend, best roommate, best co-parent, best travel partner, best roommate, best everything, best activity partner. Like how would one person be all of those?
And remember I think I put the video up about what marriage was actually meant to be. In other words, marriage was never built to be all these things to one person, okay? Because marriage is about families. I can tell you that, man. As that um, a village, okay? Because my children basically raised by was one big village of people, right? Two families, sometimes three families, but two families actually help raise my children, right? So you can never be everything to that child, but they had so many people to actually interact with and depend on and love and be cared for that. Um, you had more than one person, right? There's, in other words, I didn't have to be the absolute best father, best friend, all that kind of stuff. I had brothers and sisters and in-laws and stuff like that to actually help out with that. Same thing here, but like um, to even to this day, my family still loves my ex, right? She does, the mother of my children. They still love her today. Okay. So even though we didn't get along that well, but the thing is, they did, and they still have a good relationship with her. But the thing is, I never got in the way of that because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Things. That's insane. Like if I was interviewing for a job and said, I want you to be the best typist, and I also want you to be best on the phone, and I also want you to be great at that, and I ran down a list of dissimilar things, like, or if I went to an amazing chef and I said, I know you're a great chef, but can you farm? Like, well, that has to do with food, but they're not the same thing. Like, what are you talking? So I think why do we put on people this idea, like whoever came up with the word soulmate, really we should be paying, like divorce lawyers should be paying that person dividends, because we've convinced people that if this person isn't meeting every one of your needs, checking all of these boxes, they're not your soulmate.
Yeah. So, and basically, if I can find it, I don't know if I can find it still. I should have recorded it. When the Kabbalists, right, the Jewish Kabbalists talked about soulmates. Soulmate had nothing to do with being everything to that one person, right? Being a soulmate basically means you have a similar, a very similar objective, a very similar uh, job on the planet. Okay, that's what a soulmate is. Your soulmate, hell, you and your soulmate might fight all the time, but things you're meant to be together because of a certain point. But the thing is, the soulmates you have a lot of stuff in common. That doesn't mean that you're same, that you have the same talents. You're actually supposed to be complementary, not the exact same thing, not the same coin.
Your soulmate would know exactly what to do, exactly what to say at exactly the right time. I can go off on this stuff.
Yeah. What do you think the secret is to keeping a marriage vital, keeping it alive?
I think people get unhappy in marriages the way that people go bankrupt, which is very slowly and then all at once. I think it's very slow and then it just goes off a cliff. So everybody will say, well, we divorced because he was cheating or she was cheating, or we divorced because he had an alcohol issue or a drug issue, which lately we're seeing more like alcohol and drugs is a big thing, especially post-pandemic. There's a tremendous amount of substance abuse stuff that's causing a lot of.
Oh yeah, that's something that we knew was going to happen because people break, and how do they get past this disruption? People think that people's psychology is really stable, and it's not, man. If the environment is stable, they're stable, because all these things are meant to be stable, right? To be mundane, right? Our bodies, our psychology, our culture is built to exist in a mundane world. We live in a dynamic environment now where things change so fast. So and our psyche can't keep up with it. So there's a lot of drugs and alcohol
issues in marriages. And certainly, like, social media has increased the accessibility of adultery and connections to other people and reconnections with people from your past who remind you of a version of yourself that you felt more excited about because you were younger. So it's, it used to be if you like ran into the girl you banged in high school, it was like once every 10 years a reunion, or if you lived in the same town as you grew up in, you might run into the person at the Walmart. But now it's like on Facebook, you have all these excuses to be able to chit chat with someone, and all these benign entry points, of like, oh, I saw your pictures from vacation. Where did you stay in Miami? And then it becomes, oh yeah, well, you looked great. I mean, boy, you look fantastic in a bikini. And then all of a sudden we're off to the.
If he's talking too fast, I can slow it down, right? I'm trying to, speed it up a little bit so we can get through a lot of this.
Races, and we're chatting with each other. So if we were going to invent like an infidelity machine, you couldn't do better than Facebook and Instagram. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. But I genuinely think that the secret to staying happy in a marriage is probably the same secret to maintaining a healthy weight. Don't wait till you get super fat and then try to lose the weight. Don't wait until you get really sick. Like, my sister's a dentist, and she always says, if you have a toothache, there's nothing I can do really. Like, I can pull the tooth, I can give you a root canal, but like, I can prevent you from getting a toothache. If you just come see me regularly and you just floss and you just brush your teeth, you'll never get a toothache. By the time your tooth hurts, something is already seriously wrong. By the time you're in a divorce lawyer's office, you're fucked. The whole thing's fucked at that point. Like, you'd be better off just, you know, figuring out the preventative maintenance, right? Like, change the oil in your car. Like, so what I try to, if you reverse engineer divorce, like most people, the marriage killer, you know, the cheating or the gambling or the whatever, that's the symptom. Like, the problem is these little disconnections, you know. One of the best stories I have is I had a client who I did her divorce, and we'd spend a lot of time together, because you do, you know, when you're a divorce lawyer, you spend a lot of time with people and you get to know them very well. I mean, people will lie to their therapist. They won't lie to their divorce lawyer because A, there's no reason to, and B, you know, I need to know everything, and it's all attorney-client privilege. And this woman, we were sitting outside the courtroom waiting on a break in testimony, and she was a young woman in her probably like late 30s, you know, very attractive. And we were just chit-chatting, and I said to her, you know, was there a moment when you realized the marriage is over? You know, like, was there a moment? And she said, yeah. And I said, when was it? And she said, there was this granola that I like. She said, they only sold it at like this particular grocery store, and I like to put it in my yogurt. And she said, he used to always, whenever I'd be running low on it, I would just open the thing one day and a new bag would be there. She's like, and she's like, it made me feel so loved. Like, I didn't have to ask. He didn't want credit for it. Like, he didn't go like, oh, did you see? I got your granola that you wanted. You know, like, he just would do this thing, you know? And she said it was just something that, like, it always made me smile. She said every time the granola was running low and there was a new bag of granola, I just felt very loved, you know? And she said one day the granola ran out. And I thought, oh, that's weird. You know, maybe he didn't see it. She's like, so I left the bag in there because I thought, well, at some point he'll notice. And he didn't notice. She goes, so I took the bag out and I waited, and he didn't get a new bag. And I thought, okay, this thing's going down. And I thought to myself, wow, that's like, you know, that's such a small thing, like granola. Like, you just, but these are the things, like, these are the little things that make us feel loved and that are gestures of love. And I said to her, was there anything like that for you with him? And she said, yeah, blowjobs. And I almost spit out my coffee. And she goes, no. She goes, when we were first dating and even first married, she's like, I used to give him blowjobs a lot. She's like, you know.
That's why marriage was always built on duty, right? Duty and children, and not feelings. See, granola, right?
She's like, do it in the morning, took 2 minutes. And he was like super happy the rest of the day, you know? She's like, the rest of the day, he would like call me or text me and be like, oh, that was so good this morning. You know, I had such pep in my step now. And she's like, it was just like, what did it really take out of my life to do that? You know, and it made him feel good. She's like, and then I got to a point where I was like, well, you know what? No, I'll wait. And then tonight we can have sex and we'll both enjoy that. Like, what do I owe him a blowjob? Like, no, you know, like, I don't owe him that, you know? And then she said, I got to a point where it was like, I look back and I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't do that as often, hardly ever really, you know?
Which came first?
You know, I said that to her, and she said, she said, I couldn't tell you. She said, but I think it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And I do think it's the same thing. Yeah. And I'm not saying blowjobs and granola is all you need to know, but, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying that a blowjob is a small thing. I don't think I have any right to. I've never given one, but it seems like a phenomenal feat, and I'm grateful for every one I've ever received. But I don't think it's a massive investment, right? Just like buying someone's granola is not a massive. Just like
when you love somebody, you love doing things for them.
Right. Their pleasure pleases you. Their joy pleases you. Like their happiness makes you happy.
Exactly.
And somewhere along the line, and it happens a lot in marriage, it becomes, well, I'm not happy. Why should you be happy? You know? Yeah. And then
see, that's the whole thing. I mean, this is a red pill, something common, a red pill. That's been going on, man, since I, you know, got involved with the red pill some 9 years ago, right? Why do women get divorced? Okay. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. That's why people get divorced right now. Instead of, no, it broke up, or he cheated, or he beat me, or it got too intolerable. No, I'm not happy. That's modern marriage. That's why modern marriage fails. That's one statement that he just said that is probably the key to why modern marriages fail, right? I'm not happy. You hear it all the time.
Creates a spiral. And I really believe that that spiral could go in the other direction. Like, if he did the granola, I think the blowjobs would have come, you know? And if the blowjobs were there, I bet he'd have bought the granola. Like, I can't prove that. There's no control group, you know? I can't run that research, but it feels to me like those little things, like leaving a note, you know? I've said to some of my friend.
What Tia Mowry says, she graduated, she wasn't happy anymore, right? Wasn't that he wasn't working. It wasn't that he wasn't a good dad. Wasn't that he wasn't a good husband. She just wasn't happy anymore, right?
When they say to me, like, as a divorce lawyer, you see all this misery, like, how do I stay out of your office? And I'll often say, I'm like, it's dumb little things, man. I'm like, just leave her a note. I'm like, leave her a note in the morning. Just leave a little note, says, hey, beautiful. So it was so fun watching that movie with you last night. So glad we got to have a date. I'll be thinking of you today. Love you. Like, what does that take? That takes like a minute, not even. Like, and look what it can do. Like, look at how that makes this person feel. And even if right away it doesn't work, on that moment it doesn't work. Okay, do it enough times. Like, and then you're either going to figure out that this person's gone, and then just fucking bail. You're done. Because if you try for long enough and you give like that, but if you're not giving like that, and then you're not getting back either, well, I'm not surprised. That's how you end up in my office, is this.
In other words, that's the difference between husband and wife, okay, which is what it used to be. That's why marriages last 40 years, and soulmates, right? And what we call partners.
Death spiral of everyone like, well, I'm not buying the granola. She's not giving me blowjobs. Well, I'm not giving him blowjobs. He's mean to me. Okay, well, everybody's just has an equal right to be fucking miserable then.
I think if you're happy with yourself, be truly happy with who you are at that point in your life, or whatever the situation is, I think it's easier for you to be happy with your partner.
Yeah, but I would argue that if you're not happy with yourself, having someone happy with you is certainly not going to hurt your feeling of who you are, right? Like, I don't need someone to tell me I'm handsome for me to have a nice day, but I can't think of anybody telling me I was handsome that it ruined my day. Most of the time you're like, oh, that's nice. I got that going for me. So yeah, I think self-love, of course, is the most important love, and to be secure in who you are and to not allow your self-definition to be easily swayed or pulled. Like, if you believe the good reviews, you got to believe the bad ones too. I get that. But I just don't think kindness, like, it's just such an easy, like, especially if it's easy. Like, it's easy stuff. Like, just telling someone that they're beautiful or handsome or that you're cheering for. It just, to me, with marriage or pair bonds, I shouldn't even say marriage. Like, the world is trying to kill you all the time. Like, people are criticizing you all the time. You feel like a failure a lot of the time. If you compare yourself to other people, you'll constantly be, comparison's the thief of joy.
That's funny. And what do we have? What do we have in the Black community, right? What do we have? We have Klingons, right? Kablock. You get the battle if you don't act right.
So why not have like one person who's just cheering for you? Like, constructive criticism is criticism. It's still just criticism. So if your spouse is just sitting around criticizing you and telling you all the things you could do to improve yourself, instead of just being a fan and just saying, you know what, I know who you are and you're beautiful. I know who you are and your heart is good, and betting on the best parts of a person, I think that there's very little downside to that. I think it would put guys like me out of business if people really leveraged that.
Why do you think Black women are the least married and most divorced?
The right way.
I asked you earlier if you believe in love, but you said you do. Do you believe in marriage?
I mean, I believe people believe in marriage.
No, but do you?
Yeah. Do I believe in marriage? I don't. I don't think it's a useful technology. I understand culturally why people do it, but I don't think people should need it. I know I certainly don't need marriage. I don't think marriage. I was married. I was married before I really ever thought about what does that mean. I married my college sweetheart. I got married because that's what you do. You get married. But I hadn't thought about it as a technology and why it's there. I didn't understand it the way I do now. There's a line from a Joseph Brodsky poem that he wrote when his wife died, where he says, "I wish I knew no astronomy when stars appear." And I feel that way as a divorce lawyer. Like, I wish I knew no astronomy when stars appear. I wish I.
Basically, why do people get married in the first place is because they're socialized to get married. And the whole world, for the most part, human society tells you that you need to pair bond, legally get married for children. That's why they want to get married. It is what it is. If you really want stable families, you got to have a pair bonded couple to raise children properly. Not always, but the vast majority. The vast majority of problems come from a single family. Okay, children were not built to be raised by a single person. It's impossible. Okay, and really they're not anyway, because the state has to help.
I wish I didn't know what the end of so many marriages looks like, because I think I would have a more optimistic and unrealistic view of it. I would.
Yeah, but you'd be divorced and giving away half your.
I'd be foolish. Yeah, I'd be as foolish. But I don't know that it's always good to know. right? Sometimes there's tremendous joy to be had, and like falling feels like flying for a little while, you know. So you hit the ground, it feels really good.
But as I said earlier, you know, now that the life expectancy of man is around the 80s or something, then it's like, so you're going to do this from your 20s or 30s until you're 80.
Well, marriage is a technology that was designed for when women died in childbirth and when men died in their 40s if they were lucky, you know, 50s if they were super lucky. Like if you were in your 50s or 60s, you were an elder. You know, that was pretty amazing. And women, most women died in childbirth. Like childbirth is traumatic. It's a traumatic thing. And before modern medicine and before we understood antibiotics. So marriage is
all right, you guys, stop arguing, okay? Okay. Make this in the thing is, what's the catch? It doesn't matter what the fuck the catch is. If she's not happy, she's gonna leave you because she has the right to. Okay. There's nothing you can do about it. Like the guy that got the $300 million taken from him, right? He was accountable. He made all the money. He made all the decisions. Guess what? She fucked the pool boy, and then got him for half. Didn't matter. This guy does not do like penny ante divorces. These are $1 million divorces, right? And these guys are uber wealthy, right? Uber successful. So saying that if you're just successful that they won't leave you, that's bullshit. Okay, it's not. That's what he's trying to tell you.
I don't think anyone ever planned that it was going to be, okay, we're going to do this forever. You know, we're going to do this till we're in our, you know, till we're 100. I mean, but I think that's part of a bigger problem. You know, I don't remember who said it, but I remember someone saying, I can't remember who it was, but we are prehistoric creatures, right? Like we are biological creatures living in medieval institutions, like education, work, with godlike technology. How do you think that ends? Like you think that ends in happily ever after? Like,
and in other words, the institution and the environment, and the need for the institution, which is children, okay, are at an impasse. Okay, you're gonna need another way to arrange people. Okay, you're gonna have to alter this to the point where this stuff works again, because the way it was set up, which set up 3,000 years ago, right? Basically, it doesn't. You know, the math don't math no more. That's why it's failing. It's not just here, but all over the world.
Like, that's insane. Like, marriage was not designed. I mean, think about even the early days of marriage. Think about every Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. You know, think about Oklahoma, you know, where you'd have like, there's like the 3 people in town that aren't married, you know, and you sort of pick which of the 3, you know, you were going to go be with. And now you have access to just an endless supply of the opposite sex, or I shouldn't even say the opposite sex. You have an endless supply of romantic partners in a device in your hand. How does that possibly stand up? How does marriage, the idea of monogamy, forced monogamy or enforced monogamy, how does that ever survive in that environment?
It doesn't, and it can't. And that's why the marriage rate in a small town is like at 8 to 15%, in marriage in a urban setting is like 60 or 70%. Big difference. Big difference.
I don't think it can. I don't think it's realistic. And the statistics prove me right. You know, the statistics are absolutely in my favor. Now, again, get married as many times as you want if you have a prenup. If you have a prenup, go get married. Getting married is a blast. Being married is difficult. You know, someone once said that it's great to be married sometimes. The problem is you're married all the time.
So you're a fan of prenups?
I'm a huge fan of prenups. I mean, I shouldn't be, because a prenup for a couple of $1,000s will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially in legal fees.
In other words, your prenup is marriage insurance. That's what he's trying to say, which I agree with.
If not millions. So there are clients I have that have spent over $1 million just in their legal fees, that if they had spent $2,000 on a prenup, none of that. They'd still have that money in their pocket. And that's incredible to me. Like, I have 2 sons who are adults, that they are absolutely going to have prenups. Like, they have to have prenups. They'd be fools to not have prenups. It's like jumping out of a plane with no parachute. Why would you do that? You know, it's stupid. Prenups are enforceable. They make sense. I actually think there's something very romantic about prenups, because they're forcing you to have a conversation about this relationship. Like, I genuinely believe that we are the most aware of our health just after we got sick, right? Like, if you wake up and you have a toothache, all you can think about is the fact your tooth hurts. And then your toothache goes away. And for like a week,
you're taking care of your teeth.
You go, oh my God, at least I don't have a toothache, you know? But then a month.
Well, PK, you can disagree with his opinion, but thing is, guess what? Yours is uninformed opinion, and guess what? He's a $1 million lawyer, divorce lawyer. He sees this stuff all the time. He has to defend these prenups. So guess who's going to have the most information, probably be more correct? He is. So disagreeing with him, it's like disagreeing with God, all right?
It goes by. You don't wake up and go, well, at least I don't have a toothache. You know, it's the furthest thing from your mind. But theoretically, you could wake up today and go, I don't have a toothache. I don't have a backache. I don't have a head cold. Like, this is a great day.
What does a typical prenup look like?
The easiest prenup in the world. Easiest. Yours, mine, ours. That's it. Yours, mine, ours. If it's in your name, it's yours. If it's in my name, it's mine.
Like in a divorce, everything, all the assets are split 50-50.
Well, no, what you say in a prenuptial agreement is if it's an asset or a liability, if it's in my name, it's mine. If it's in your name, it's yours. If it's in our joint names, we'll divide it 50-50. That's it. Yours, mine, ours. And then you have to have ongoing conversations throughout the marriage about, you know, hey, I got this bonus at work. Do I put it in my account? Do I put it in the joint account?
If the husband owns a house that's worth whatever, $2 million, and he marries a woman, the house is his still?
Well, they have to have a conversation. Do I owe you a house?
That's an awkward conversation.
Okay. You know what's a more awkward conversation? A conversation 10 years later with a lawyer about the fact that you have to give half of this house away to someone. Isn't it better to have that conversation when you still why would you learn how to fight in a fight?
But won't that undermine the love that each person feels?
Why? You're going to die. Does that undermine your life? Or does it make you conscious of the fact that this is finite and that you should be out there? Like, I think having a conversation with your partner about, look, I love you. You love me. We want to do this thing together. But the numbers are against us and the world is antagonistic to it. And I hope we'll be together forever. But if we split up, what do we owe each other? What do you expect from me? Because I have to tell you something. I'm a fair person. I'm a fair person. If you say to me, you know, Jim, if I'm not going to work as hard because you make a good living. So if we split up, I'm going to need help for a couple of years because I'm not going to pay attention to my career. Okay. Is that unreasonable? That's totally reasonable. You know, if I say, hey, listen, I have this house and I bought it, you know, but I'm buying it with money that I made really before we were together. So if we split up, I don't really think you deserve half of it. I think that if we bought things for it together, that, okay, those things you can half of, but the house itself, like that's money I had before I met you. And why can't you have that conversation? Why not? Instead, I mean, you buy a house, you do.
So why are you guys arguing with the lawyer? Okay. It depends on the prenup. Because the thing is, women are making more money. Their prenup says that once you sign it, you're designated to get what you get, and it doesn't mean half.
Do a HUD-1, a lead paint disclosure. You got to sign all these things that this is how much the interest is going to be, and this is what you get married and get a fucking pamphlet. You don't get anything. You just did the most legally significant thing you're ever going to do, other than die. And no one has explained any of it to you. People come into my office and they go, well, my retirement account, that's in my name. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's in your name. Okay, was it acquired during the marriage? Okay, she's got half of it. Well, I have this bank account, but it's in my sole name. It's money that I inherited from my mom. I'm like, okay, and it's in your name. Yeah, but you inherited that money during the marriage. And did you put money that you earned during the marriage in that account also? Yeah, okay, that's commingled and transmuted. That's now marital property. So they don't know that. Why? Because no one tells them that when they're getting married. All it is, you spend more time talking about the cake than you do talking about the fact that you just opted out of the title system. That's gigantic. You can't legally change the beneficiary of your life insurance, even to your children, if you're married, without your spouse signing a consent to that. No one tells you that when you get married. Elvis can marry you for $20 at a drive-through cathedral. And it's a legal status, a massive legal. You buy your spouse a Rolex, you bought yourself one half of a Rolex. You buy someone a birthday present who you're married to, you bought yourself one half of that birthday present. Nobody knows. People don't know that. They learn that for the first time in my office or in a courtroom. That's insane. What other thing in the world, like anything else, any other contract, you would say, well, wait a minute, no one explained that to me. No one explained that to me. When I leased this car, no one explained to me that there's wear and tear. It doesn't say it anywhere in the contract, right? Okay, marriage contract doesn't say that. It doesn't say, you know, oh, and by the way, you're opting out of the title system and your retirement assets and all these other things. And if there's any debts, and you could have enhanced earning capacity or celebrity.
In other words, basically, it becomes the business end, right? Especially in this litigious environment. Okay, this is a holdover from the patriarchy where you owed your wife something for the use of her womb. Okay, and this is a holdover. So now it's complex because a woman is no longer that which she was actually developed for way back 200 years ago. It's changed. But the thing is, we haven't updated our laws or our culture yet.
Pretty goodwill that has to be valued by forensic accountants that'll cost you $100,000. No contract that says that. It just says, yep, we're getting married. It's two witnesses. We're good. Like, what other contract in the United States or anywhere has that lack of disclosure and is that binding? None. Zero. None. So why a prenup? Yes, that's an awkward conversation, I guess. I don't know that it has to be. And I have to tell you, the more awkward of a conversation it is, the more you should think twice about getting married.
Yeah.
Because if you can't have a conversation with this person, about the possibility that someday one or both of you might hurt each other. Like, how many people, while they're still happy and in love, say something like, you know, babe, I love you, but we're going to disagree about something at some point. And when we do, how do you like to fight? Like, do you need a minute? Like, do you need like to be alone for a minute so you can kind of...
And that's adult, but yeah, that's a hard conversation. And like you said, if you can't have that tough conversation, then at some point, then you probably should rethink getting married.
Calm down? Or are you the like, hey, we got to figure this out and we can't go to bed angry? Like, because let's talk about that now while we're not in a fight. Like, let's talk about it now while we still get along and we're happy and we're trying to figure out how to navigate each other. It's hard enough to navigate yourself. I want to navigate another human being. Why don't we have that conversation now? But no, we don't. We learn on the job. We learn how to fight in a fight, which is insane. You know, but again, why? Well, because it's, you know, it's awkward. It'd be awkward to have that conversation. More awkward than getting in a fight where you don't know the rules of engagement, where you don't know how your partner does better or would feel better. Like, and you're not going to ask them that in the heat of battle, you know? So why wouldn't you have that awkward conversation while you have this abundance of affection for each other? I mean, when I negotiate prenups, it's the easiest thing in the world in a sense, because these two people really like each other. You know, they're about to get married. So they're clearly not trying to kill each other at that point. They clearly like each other. So you just say, hey, listen, go home, talk to your fiance about X, Y, and Z and see what they think and tell them what your concern is. And very often people will come back and say to me, I mean, I have to tell you, I've been doing this now, you know, over 20 years. I do a lot of prenups. I do maybe 5-6 prenups a month. Sometimes during like pre-wedding season, which is the fall and before the summer, I'll do 10-15 a month. The people who say to me, oh, well, I don't want to have that conversation. You know, they get the prenup and within 3-4 years they're divorced. Sometimes 5 years and then 7 years, but they're the ones who get divorced. They have no business getting married. Like the ones who have the discussion and figure out well, I'm worried because if you keep the place, yeah, you're right. Okay, so what if I give you this amount of money and it's this much for each year?
Basically, that's what families used to be for, right? They actually took this kind of stuff seriously. And I think there was a 90-day fiance where he was getting married, and I think the mother of his mother and his ex-wife sat down with the future wife and said, "Hey, you got to sign this because it protects everybody." With the family actually looks at it more coldly, more clearly than you can. Okay, that's why it used to be the family that used to negotiate your marriage and not you.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it that way. Those people, they're probably never going to put the prenup in a safe someplace. You'll never look at it probably.
Good communication solves the problem.
Yeah, because they're able to talk to each other and they're able to talk about hard things. How are you going to be married to someone, have children with someone, and you can't talk about hard things? You know, like how? How are you going to navigate life and not be able to talk about hard things? Like, that's silly. So if you can't talk about hard things, don't get fucking married. It's okay. You don't have to. You can stay together. But people love, I had a client.
So those are bars right there. You know, if you can't talk about hard things, you can't be serious about it, then you probably shouldn't get married, right? Same, you know, I tell the same thing with to women, right? When they have a baby, okay? If you're not sure about this guy and you're not sure that that you're going to go to war with or live and die with this guy, you probably shouldn't be having this baby. But guess what human beings do? They're fallible. They do shit they probably shouldn't do all the time just out of emotion. Emotion rules, unconscious emotion rules people way more than they actually think. Okay. That's like they hate the red pill. They really hate the black pill, okay? Because it kills all of that stuff. Fuck your feelings, cupcake. No, let's talk about this.
No joke, guy was in his 70s. He was married 4 times. I did his 3rd and 4th divorces, and he was getting married for a 5th time. And I said to him, I was like, because I actually thought he's older. So I thought, like, does he know you don't have to marry them anymore? Like, maybe he doesn't know.
He's dividing his assets.
Yeah, maybe someone didn't tell him. Like, maybe someone didn't tell him, like, you can fuck them. You don't have to marry them anymore. You can just do that.
He's dividing his assets multiple times.
Well, and it's getting smaller and smaller every time. But I said to him, I was like, why are you doing this again? I was like,
well, the lead attorney did talk about Dr. Dre's prenup. And so far, the prenup is holding, okay? So far. And we don't know all the details because it is a legal document. We don't know all the details of the contract, and plus she has really good lawyers, and she's going to try to find loopholes. So we don't know the exact terms of the prenup, so we don't know whether it was ironclad or whether there's loopholes or not. There's no such thing as an ironclad anything, right? The thing is, it protects you. He still has most of his money, so prenups can be challenged. That's why they're still in court.
You don't have to get married. Like, you're clearly not great at it, you know? Like, And he was very funny. He said, you know, Jim, he said, you buy a car and you drive it for 200,000 miles and eventually the engine craps out. So you go out and you buy a Ferrari or you buy some flashy sports car and you drive it for a couple months and you realize this is not the car for me. So you get rid of it. And then you get another car and, you know, you think this one's going to be the one for you, but, you know, after you drive it for like a year, you realize, yeah, this is not the car for me.
You can lease them instead of buying them.
You're going to walk everywhere for the rest of your life? Yeah, well, that was my answer. You could lease them. You could lease them. Or you could have some other alternate arrangement. I mean, here's the thing about marriage is it's a technology. So we made it up. So we can change it.
You think marriage will change in the next 20 years?
No. I actually think it's going to have, I mean, I think the pendulum always swings hard in the other direction. We have a tendency as a culture to overcorrect. So I think we're heading into a spiral of like traditional stuff.
Really?
Like I think you're going to see like people getting like super religious again, and people are going to get super dogmatic. I think you're going to see the trad wife thing.
Oh, the trad wife. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think the environment's going to support it, but we'll see.
And we're going to see the hypermasculinity. We're going to see like a very, you know, we've gone so far in the direction.
Oh yeah, we see a lot of hypermasculinity in the red pill. That's one thing we do see. Okay, a lot of hypermasculine folks. Okay.
Direction of postmodernism where nothing means anything and everything's just, you know, like there is no definite. We become like Sartre, you know, like we've become so postmodern that it's become almost a form of rugged individualism. I think we're going to swing in the other direction now, and traditional institutions are going to get popular again. It will be. I mean, you know, from a marriage place, it's going to be great because I think people are going to get married. I mean, people were slowing down on getting married for a while,
sure.
And they were getting married later, and they're having kids later. We're declining to have kids, and I think as a culture, we start re-solidifying into gender roles or gender tropes, depending on how we want to look at it. I think you're going to see marriage resurge again, but I think that it's still going to be as flawed of a technology as it ever was. And I think we have so much out there now to compare ourselves to. You know, you used to compare yourself to the neighbors next door and what car they had in the driveway and what they were wearing when they left for church on Sunday. Now you're just looking at everyone's greatest hits while living your gag reel, you know, and you're never looking at any of that stuff when you're having like a peak experience. You know, you're on the toilet or you're bored and you're looking at everyone's hashtag blessed. And meanwhile, they're in my office. Like, I can't tell you how many people do a consult with me and they're cheating and they haven't slept with their spouse in 3 years and they're miserable. And you're looking at their Instagram and it's all like best life ever, hashtag greatest hubby ever. And you're like, what is this? It's performance art. Yeah. You know, it's an advertisement of how happy you are. But this is what people are comparing themselves to. They're looking at that and going, well, my marriage isn't that good. Well, that marriage isn't that good. Trust me, that marriage isn't that good. That marriage is in my... Look at celebrities. You don't even need to look at the people you know. Look at celebrities. Before they do it is with great sadness that we advise that we're going to be moving in separate directions and consciously uncoupling. And like that, right before that, it's like, oh no, we're happy, we're great, we're phenomenal. You know, we're constantly advertising how wonderful our relationships are while they're on fire. You know, and then wondering why everyone's, you know, miserable in their relationship because they're comparing it to something fake. It's like comparing your body to a photoshopped body.
Yeah. In other words, we live in the IG world, Instagram. Well, everybody's an IG model for 30 seconds, right? During that snapshot. Yeah. What do you call the internet and social media is crack right now and everybody's high.
Other than social media, do you think there's something else in our society that made marriage more difficult to stay together?
Now makes it more difficult.
And just like your parents stayed married?
Yeah, my parents stayed married until my mother passed away.
Same with me.
But they were mixed results. I think that my parents were not as caught up in their own happiness. I think we're very caught up in our own happiness.
We're all very self.
Yeah, we're all very
boom, right? What is happiness, right? Caught up in happiness instead of duty. Kevin before he died, he said marriage is about what? It's not about happiness, it's about duty. Yeah, my mother's the same way, right? Until my father died. They're married. They've got 60 years, something like that. Yeah. 60 some years. And they stayed together through some rocky times because it wasn't about happiness, it's about duty and children.
I don't want to say narcissistic, but we're very much like we are the sun around which everything revolves.
What am I not getting?
Yeah, my father was a Vietnam veteran. You know, he got out of the Naval Academy in '66 and went to Vietnam for 3 years. So he was alive. So he was like, fuck, I'm ahead. I'm playing with the house's money. I'm alive. Everybody in their wedding party died. All the men in their wedding party died in Vietnam. There's 5 guys in their wedding party. They all died in Vietnam. My parents never looked at their wedding album because every single man in it was dead. They were all helicopter pilots in Vietnam who got killed in their 20s. You know, so they didn't really see marriage as like it was a partnership. It was like, yeah, we're going to do this thing. We're going to have kids. We're going to raise the kids. We're going to, you know, we're going to have a house. You know, we're going to have a car. Like we'll be successful. The lights are on. My father was dirt poor. He came from like Appalachian part of Virginia, a small town called Shawsville. Didn't have indoor plumbing until he left for the Naval Academy. And I think he saw marriage as, yeah, it's what you do. You know, he met my mom on Fleet Week. She was a nurse in the city. And he was, on Fleet Week, and he had his uniform on, and he was in a bar, and he was drunk. And he went to her, and he said, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and I'm going to marry you," because he was drunk. And she said, "Are you in the military?" Because he was wearing a uniform. And he said, "Yep." And she said, "What country?" And he said, "Whatever country you're from." And he invited her to visit him at the Naval Academy a couple of weeks later, and she came. But he'd invited 3 other women.
No.
He just didn't know if any of them would come. So he invited all of them. So my mom got there, and she saw these other women, and she said, "Either I'm leaving or they're all leaving."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "I kind of like her." So he made them all leave. And they were married 50 plus years. But, their marriage had challenges. He was an alcoholic. He's been in recovery for maybe 7-8 years since she passed. But and he's remarried. But he remarried within a year of my mom dying. Like, he's of a generation of men that he needed someone to take care of him. My mom died. He didn't even know how to scramble an egg. Like, it was, like, after she passed, I had him come to stay with me and my sons. And I was trying to, like, teach him, like, "Okay, Dad, here's how you make, like, a batch of chili, and then you can eat it all week," And I was like, how's this guy gonna, because they had this very, but that's what he met another older woman, and her husband had died. She needed someone to take care of. He needed someone to take care of him.
But that generation didn't have it as easy as we did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they
were
just meeting your basic needs, right?
They were grateful to be alive.
They were grateful to be alive because they'd either been through war.
We're not grateful unless we're driving a Mercedes or
and even then we're not grateful because the truth is, well, okay, Mercedes, but what's a Mercedes? Who cares? You know how many people have a Mercedes? My secretary has a Mercedes. She leases it. I drive a Jeep. So is she better than me? Is she more successful than me? She works for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know that any of it's enough anymore. Like, no matter what watch you have, somebody's got another one or a better one or 5 of them.
And all this comparison that we see.
It's on crack. Social media on crack. We'll kind of wrap it up there, and because they're kind of repeating themselves, and you guys can come on up if you want to. The link's in the description. We got about 30 minutes to actually chat before we close it out. But I think we have enough to talk about. It's I like things like this is because they're black pill, and black pill gets to the nature of it. It gets to the heart of it. So if you guys want to come up and say a few words, if not, we can go ahead and close it out because we're a little over an hour. And that is black pill to the fullest. That is black pill to the fullest. And a lot of stuff that he says is as far as this kind of stuff is concerned, man, I wholeheartedly agree with. But something that I think it was back in 2008 when I was in Ghana. I was trying to figure this kind of stuff out, and when I saw the difference between the United States and Ghana, which is still agrarian, right? And they were still having 4 or 5 kids per woman, right? So then I figured out, marriage is not about us. Marriage is about children. Marriage is about children. That's why marriages are failing here. And from then on, I knew, okay, marriage is about duty and children. And everything I've read since then just solidifies that.
I got that handbook. I had it in a T-shirt. Burnt them off. But
yeah, we're working on tradition now. Yeah, but we burnt the T-shirt up, huh?
Yeah. My grandfather even tried to tell me. He looked that girl dead in her eyes, sitting on his couch, and I'm sitting across.
The black gender wars are over, right? It is over.
He told me to my face. He said, "This might be a good woman in our, but she's used good, sir. She is not worthy of our last name. Don't do it."
And you did it. And you did it anyway, right?
I'm gonna prove this old man wrong.
Yep.
I just got you. I'm gonna do it. He said right there. He even came to the wedding. He came to the wedding, drunk it out. Up that vodka. He sat there. He stood there. He didn't sit there. He stood up. He watched that shit, and as soon as I said I do, he walked up. And I went to get him. I left her and everybody. What you leave? He said, I can't condone you making the biggest mistake of your life. I already know what's about to happen.
Yep.
And you're not listening.
Right. Yeah, he knew. He knew because he's made that mistake before.
Learn shit not once, but twice the hard way. To the same motherfucker. So
because you're hard headed, you try to prove him wrong.
Yeah. I'm the biggest jackass in Texas.
Yeah. Yep. Nah, not the biggest, but one of them.
No, I'm the biggest. But I married that bitch twice. We married less than 2 years each marriage, but we were divorced over 10 years in that span. the dumbest shit I did. I had more prosperity before I was fucking with her, and then after I fucked with her in that period, then when I went back again, man,
He couldn't learn the lesson the first time, huh?
is
To
my
me,
God.
I just want to say this. To me, I
And
think
you got to speak up because
in
you're
order
very
for
low.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Am I
Yeah,
coming in
better,
good?
better. Yeah.
What's going on? Yes, I hope all is well. Everyone on the platform. I hope everyone had a blessed day and have a great weekend. I think you know what, for a marriage to truly work, the woman has to look past the emotional aspect, and like you said, it has to thing. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dating right now. What I cannot stand is when it could be on a positive or negative side, like bringing
Uh-huh.
up what some random ass influencer did with her boyfriend, right? Well, I had a
Mm-hmm.
chick one time say, like, oh, so and so on Instagram, her boyfriend just told her to pack her bags and go. She's like, man, I think that's fly, and basically insinuating like that's what she want. And I mean, I could not stand that shit. And like,
Yeah.
it was funny
But then,
when
but
Michael.
but but that's the environment
Yeah,
that you live in. How you gonna change it?
Should have just laughed at her.
I'd have laughed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
go ahead. Finish your thought.
but to
I'm,
me, I was like, I
I'm
don't
going.
like.
Since everybody wants to talk, I'm gonna put the clock up. Go ahead. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
but
got another minute.
and I would say, and on the other end, it was funny. It was like when Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey were dating, and I was about to go on vacation
Uh-huh.
with the same chick, and she was like, I want to have this picture. I want us to do the same picture, and I'm like, why are you living your life through the eyes of a celebrity? Meanwhile, literally, like what, less than 6 months after that, they broke up. It's like that in of itself. I think prior to social media and Facebook, marriage was on a thread, but if it was on one thread, social media was like the butcher knife that just
Yeah, it
chopped
is.
it down.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
That's
over.
why. That's why most millennials and definitely most Gen Z will never marry. So that's
Correct.
probably what's gonna happen.
BGS, BGS. May I
Yes.
give this young lad just a
Go
tad
ahead.
piece?
You got a minute, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give him just a tad piece of advice.
Mm.
Nigga, don't do it. Run! Get the hell out of
No,
here!
no.
Out of here! Don't look back ever. Fuck your emotions. Fuck
It,
your fuck that good nut that she let you have and feel. That's all a scam, brother. It's a scam. It's a
if
trap that lure
if
you
no,
in.
nobody
Because the
nobody
minute
can tell you.
you say I do, she stop. They all stop. They get in their goddamn hormonal fifis about everything, bro. And you cannot fight that uphill battle ever. I'm done.
There's no guarantees, but the thing is, what did he just say? If you're gonna do it, buy insurance, right?
Yep.
If you're gonna do it, he said he doesn't recommend it, but if you're gonna do it, buy insurance.
I
Yeah.
just want to throw something out here, and this is just a question: how many gambling people do you know have insurance for gambling?
Come on.
Zero,
Yeah,
Let's be honest here.
well, they don't sell insurance for gambling, but there
That's
are.
the
No.
that I get it, but the thing is what I'm making a illusion here. When we start to talk about marriage and the issues that come along with it, that disincentivize it, you got to understand most people aren't thinking about prenups when they're going to stating their vows on the altar. Man, that's not happening. And for the people that it is happening for, let's be honest here, it's not 100% guarantee that that prenup's going to work out for you. That's why I said I understand the man's opinion on it. I get it. However, I don't recommend it. Just don't even do it. It's not even something you should really be doing, as he said himself.
Yeah,
Well, it's state specific. That's one thing. I mean, we're in a technological age now where, as far as I'm concerned, there's really no excuse because you can either go to you can go to your local college and you could read the laws, or you can go on the state website and you can read the laws when it comes to paternity, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to marriage. So as a man, in my opinion, it's your life, and the woman has to consistently be an asset in your life. If she's lagging, then obviously it's your duty to inform her of that. But if she just can't get it, or she just doesn't want to do it, now you need to have the balls to let her ass go.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
That's
if you're married or not.
That's why
That's
you
the
have to have
problem with guys.
That's why you have to have insurance, okay? If you're
Yep.
gonna get married.
Exactly.
My biggest issue is this. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand the concept of prenup. Is what you have before you come into the marriage. So I think a prenup, it helps people that have accumulated a lot of wealth, a lot of resources. That's relatively your older men. Now, younger men that are probably like 30 and below, a prenup is kind of insignificant because chances
Oh, no,
are
no, no,
you're
no,
going
no, it's
through.
not.
no.
What
You need it before.
what did he just say? Okay.
You need it before.
What did he just say? Mental agility. What did he just say? What did
He
Lloyd just say?
said, "Oh, he said that a prenup is like what's mine is mine, what's yours is
No.
yours, and this is ours."
What did he say about a prenup? Right? What did he say about his sons that are they're teenagers? What did he say about his sons? They're gonna get a prenup, right? Because it's insurance. You have the conversation before, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand it's the conversation beforehand, but it's like, what do you have beforehand?
No, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You are setting the precedence of what's happening from this point, from this a specific date moving forward. Then while you're in that relationship now, because again, I'm in finance, like you have to be on top of everything, all your taxes, all that shit. This is where people, especially guys, this is where they fall in trouble, because again, the laws are right there. If you don't have your shit together, now you have to pay extra money for a special attorney, a forensic accountant. And if you just had your shit together to begin with, before, during, and then most likely she's gonna blow the whole shit up. Guess what? Here's all my stuff. You pay for your own attorney. We already signed a prenup. In and out. We're done.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a perception, mental agility, that you and most people may have, that, because they don't have anything, they don't stand to lose anything. That's not how marriage works, bro. Okay. I know you're married. If you're married, I don't know if you are married, but the thing is, the way that it works,
that's my wife.
Listen, I sat in the courtroom with my goddaughter's father, and this is for child support, right? The couple before them, this dude lost. The only thing the court, and I was in Rhode Island at the time, the only thing the court didn't touch was his fucking work truck. We're talking everything before they even got married. His 401k before they even met. She's got half of that shit.
All right, so here's what I'm trying to get. Are you saying that with a prenup you can dictate things that you haven't even accumulated yet?
Within reason.
Yes, you can. Within reason.
Yes.
I want to say this too.
Like the lawyers tell the woman if it's a bad deal. Now, if you're just with some millionaire guy who gives you a prenup and he makes a lifestyle that you're used to, they're still going to keep her having the same lifestyle.
Not necessarily.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh
no, lifestyle doesn't. The prenup actually supersedes the contract by the state.
Correct.
That's what I'm tracking. Tracking. I'm tracking that, but I'm saying it's like it's kind of hard to understand. Like, how do you like say, okay, when I buy this house, you can't have this house. I don't have the house yet.
Again, it has to be within reason, and that's why it has to be enforceable. I.e., you need an attorney to write it up, and it has to be certified. You have to follow the law to the letter, or else you got a chink and it's ripped up. It's really that simple. Just do that.
But
I just want to say something real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, that ain't real quick. Go ahead, Leon.
One of the first things.
All right.
Think he's
wrong,
bogged
Leon.
out?
Yeah, he bogged out. I guess it's too hot. Okay.
So are there any situations where a prenup was established and it's spoke for things that you didn't have yet?
It happens all the time.
So I didn't get a prenup, but the fact is this: my woman has way more money than me. So I don't care.
You should.
Yes, I'm disagreeable as hell. I'll take half an answer.
Like you said, you're jumping out of the plane without a parachute, man.
Well, she has more money than me. That's
Doesn't
I
matter.
dated
amazing.
a woman.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You
and,
gotta,
and
you gotta put,
that's actually normal where especially in this day and age where women are making more than enough money, where a lot of the guys even when they can exercise getting half or getting more, the majority of the guys don't do that.
Oh, I'm gonna do it if it happens. I'm not
So
that type of nigga. I'll take it.
I
I don't
dated
give
a
a fuck.
woman. I dated a woman that made $230,000 a year, and she made me sign a prenup before we was about to get married. And in the prenup, she had put the house in the prenup, and what she told me was, "I got to give you something."
It's
Yeah.
it's not
that's
that
where
she makes
that's
more
what
money than me. It's because
that's
she lived with her parents
what
until
that's what
we
that's
got
what
married.
that's what attorney said. You know,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
It also
were you under duress?
That's the thing.
Well,
All I was saying,
hold on, y'all. Hold on. Finish up, Leon. Get other
all I,
people in.
all I was saying was one of the main factors I looked for was family and proximity. I'm a military brat, so I've seen so much of that shit happen, and I just prefer how my family grew up. And she kind of has the same background with her family, so that's something I look for to take the pressure because I got zero daycare, so you already get how much I'm saving a month. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's
I
one of
wanted
the
to say,
primary things I did.
BGS, BGS,
I wanted,
BGS.
Real quick.
I,
hold on, yeah, I
I,
just want.
some
Go
people
ahead.
might think what I'm about to say isn't sensible,
Go ahead and say it.
but for a country boy from Texas who don't play that shit, look at here. My prenup insurance was this, gentlemen, and I hold it true to the day I die. And I looked her dead in the eyes when I told her, "You want to leave? Leave. But you take your clothes, and these kids that you trying to take from me, and you go. But if you try to take anything else from me, I'm bonded by Mossberg, bitch, and I will use it. And I will go to the 6x9 cage in the Texas Penal Institution with a smile on my face. You try me one more time. You cross this line one more time, and I will shoot your face off. And I
Well,
mean, see,
that's one way
I'm,
to
I'm
do it.
not recommending it for anybody else, but I'm telling you, that's
All right.
what works for me.
That
Okay.
isn't legal advice, by the
Yeah,
way.
that's not legal advice.
Clearly.
Don't try this at home. Opal or Lewis, you guys want to get in? You guys
I
got two
had
minutes.
wanted to say this. Yeah, I wanted to say this to mental agility about prenups not working. If prenups, I mean, in terms of not doing it, if people should not be towards it if they're young.
Is your name Opal Azriel?
My bad. My bad.
Is
My
your
bad.
name
Yo, can
Opal?
y'all hear me?
Hold on a second. I mean, you guys
Yes,
supposed
sir.
to listen. Is your name Opal Azriel?
My fault. I didn't hear. I didn't hear you when you called on me.
Yeah, I know you weren't listening, but go ahead, Opal. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me all right? I'm driving right now.
Go ahead. You got 2
All
minutes.
right, no doubt. All right, baby. So a couple of questions though, because I'm pretty sure the reason why dudes were arguing in chat because we've all heard cases where prenups were thrown out in court and whatnot.
And
And if y'all already touched about it,
and we're not lawyers, but go ahead, talk about it.
all right. So I guess if anybody has any advice about that, so like, I guess any pretext, like how does that happen? Whatnot? What's the best way to hedge yourself against that? If anyone would know.
It's called a technicality. That's
Oh,
all. That's all it is, and that's why I was saying earlier. It is state specific.
mhm.
It has to be reasonable, and you need an attorney. And to be
Yes.
quite frank, you need to get the best within the top 3. That's what I would do. And then even when even when the draft is drawn out, I'll take it to another attorney to rip that shit apart. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Just to find any holes. That's a smart thing to do.
Even though Dr. Dre's going through his stuff with his wife, okay, she'd have got a whole lot more money if it didn't have a prenup.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Wait,
She's
Dr.
getting
Dre got married despite having all those kids?
Well, they've been together for a
Judge
long
Dredd.
time.
Dr. Dre. If you
Oh, Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Even though he's going through the prenup is being challenged, which they can challenge the contract, right?
Correct.
Even though she gets a certain amount, he still has way more money. She's not even get 10% of what she would have gotten without a prenup.
Yep.
I'm about to say, because she got 200 mil, right?
No, nope, she did not.
Oh, she got less than that?
No.
Oh yes, more like 25.
I was gonna say, man, as far as I'm concerned, they should set a limit depending on if a guy got crazy money like that. I don't think any woman, none of them deserve no more than 10 million. Seriously, because
be honest with you, they don't even deserve that, bro.
I'm being very conservative.
Well, let Opal
10,
finish.
10 mil to get 8 up in California.
Hey, y'all. Hey, let Opal finish what he's saying. Go ahead, Opal. Opal, you still there? I guess not. Okay.
No, he said he was driving, so he might be in a bad spot.
Okay, hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you right now.
Yeah, my bad. I'm about to stop right now, but yeah, the technicality bullshit that makes sense though, because that's what they try to use most of the time though. And so my follow-up question going from there is that because the lawyer mentioned that he sees like a pendulum shifting backwards, where I guess we get more of like a religious traditional vibe towards marriage and whatnot. So my question is, do y'all think that, I guess, as far as millennials and these whatnot, do they trust these women enough to get married if there will be a shift like that? Because personally, I don't think they will.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, in the next, I mean, I'm an old millennial, but I think we'll find out in the next decade.
I think it depends on what you mean by a shift. I mean, like it really depends because I think this is what I truly believe. I think that the desire for marriage actually hasn't gone down. I think that the barriers to marriage have actually gone up because people are seeing that the damage and the havoc and essentially the wreckage of it. So they're very apprehensive about it.
Whether they can, but the thing is, I think you can already see the laws changing to swing the pendulum back, like maternity testing, no lifetime alimony, that kind of stuff. So the society itself is pushing things backwards. So I think that's what he means, that the shift.
Yeah, they're closing things.
I think what he said in the video with the trad wise and the regular individual.
You see a lot of that. You're hearing a lot of that stuff.
It sounds like he's watching the space.
Well, you hear it in the space, right? With the John Henry, you offer your way through it. If you just earn more, you can control your woman, all this kind of crap, right? You hear it in the space. You hear it here.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's why I said what I said. I think it depends. There are still a lot of people who are very hopeful about, essentially having relationships and getting married, having families. I don't think that has ever changed and will ever change.
Well, it will change, but the thing is that the environment, the environment hasn't got caught up to it yet, but it will change. Trust and believe. When you get to Humans 2.0, it's going to change. Okay.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to.
I think men are starting to adjust too. I think that the easiest way to solve this situation is you tell them, hey, I'm not getting a state-sanctioned marriage. You can move in with me. Your mail will be going to a P.O. box. That way you can prevent that what do they call it?
Do they teach that in school?
Hell no.
No. It doesn't matter. Do they teach that in school? How do you socialize your children? How do you socialize your children? Have they stopped socializing children away from marriage?
No.
I don't even know if they socialize children to marriage.
Yes, they do. Look
they do.
Look at any
Disney socializing women towards marriage.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
In what states?
In all states, they socialize women to get married later, though. That's the problem.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Go get your degree. Have your fun in your 20s.
Yeah.
The biological clock doesn't exist. This sounds like bullshit.
Well, I mean, as much as the environment, this is my pushback in general. As much as the environment may shift, human nature hasn't changed, and because of that, even though technology may change around us and the environment may change around us, I think the very dictates that men want to fuck women and women want to fuck men. That's not going anywhere.
But that has nothing to do with marriage, though, sir.
Correct.
For a stable society, it does. So I mean,
that has nothing to do with marriage, sir. Basically, how do you organize people? People are fucking before marriage. Okay.
Correct.
What do you think we got here?
So yes and no.
There's your yes and no. Okay.
Then just flat out no. They don't. Nah, that ain't it either.
Where do you get that from, man? Tell me where you got that from.
Anthropology. I just told you. The thing is, arranging people in a particular way benefits society.
How old are human beings compared to marriage?
Hundreds and thousands of years old, and marriage has existed for just as long.
Not. No, it's not.
It has.
But most men,
okay,
PK. Woman.
Oh yeah, PK. Where you get that from?
Anthropology, dude.
No. Anthropology is the subject. Where do you get it from?
Do you want a specific source?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let's do this. I'll give you a link. I mean, we can go.
Well,
We can find.
No,
We
no,
can
no, no, no.
find
You ain't.
corpses
No, no,
buried together
no,
with
no.
their children. I mean, like, is that not enough for you?
How
What would you
old
like?
is that? How old is that?
Hundreds of thousands of years old. How far back do you want to go?
Like, give me like 1 million, okay?
Oh Lord.
Okay. Okay, dude. Like, stop it.
No, I
Listen,
ain't no, no. I'm stopping. No, basically, motherfucker, I'm a goddamn motherfucking scientist, okay? I was trained in this shit. Give me data, okay? It's bullshit, okay?
But BJS, you know, men are not having sex out here.
Do you know why they started pairing people together, right? Pairing men and women together. You know why they started doing it?
The Plato principle.
No.
to benefit the group. That's
No.
why.
Why does it
That
benefit the
children,
group?
because the people need to be wedded together to
No.
sustain a society, to
You're
sustain
making
a
shit.
village.
You're making shit up. Basically,
Think bigger.
basically, what it is that they started having with deformities because they were fucking each other, right? So they had to pair each
Jesus.
other up from different clans. That's why they did it, right? And then it evolved from there.
I
That's
think
why
that's
they did it.
Okay,
I
interesting.
think that ain't it. But okay, I get you though. That ain't it though.
But
That is
BJS,
it.
if you
Go back and read it. That is it, man. They
if you
didn't
leave
do
these
that
women
before.
to their own devices, they go on to go up there and get with the top 20% of men.
And
Uh,
they didn't even figure that shit out until they figured out that the role of male's sperm into actually having babies, because before that they thought that women got pregnant on their own. They didn't believe that male had any involvement in it until they actually started breeding animals.
That's
That's
when
when
they
they first
worship
started.
the vagina.
marry
Yeah,
That was
anyone?
God.
yeah.
Marry?
So before that, marriage didn't exist because the father's role was unimportant. They didn't know it until they started breeding animals. Then they noticed, okay, if we breed a male from that are related, we're gonna get these deformities. That's when they started figuring it out. That's when marriage came. Had nothing to do with fucking.
The
Okay,
logic doesn't hold, because if by that logic you would argue that
go
bonobos
prove
are the
it.
model for humanity.
Go prove it. Okay, go
You would
prove it.
make that argument. I mean,
Go
are
prove
you
it.
saying that
Do
humans ought to be more like bonobos?
do bonobos get married?
No, they don't. In fact,
Why?
Some animals get married.
the females lead the group. So are you saying that we ought to have that, and that is the
No,
way that human
no.
arrangements
I'm
should
not
be
saying.
working?
I ain't no ought to. The thing is, what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that fucking equals marriage. I'm trying to say that's not true. Okay, I just proved it's not true. You've just proved
No,
it's not true.
I don't
Anyway,
think fucking means
yes, you did.
fucking equals
Yes, you
marriage.
did.
I'm saying,
Man,
missed
go
it.
go find it, man. Because fucking was way before marriage.
You're
Okay.
missing
but
it.
No, I'm not missing.
men today get married so they can have some guaranteed in-house trim.
No, they don't. No, that's not what marriage is for.
I understand that's not what marriage is for, but why are men getting married? Because they want some guaranteed trim that ain't nobody else having. They're willing to pay for it.
You are socialized to
Correct.
get married. You're socialized
True.
to do that. You have to be socialized to do it. Because why you think they close down the brothels? Okay, otherwise instead of women going out and selling sex, whatever.
Yep.
They closed down the brothels in the United States. There's still plenty of brothels away from
they've always regulated what? Brothels and hoes, right? To keep to actually encourage a stable society, right?
Yep.
Otherwise you
Yep.
wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, because so those guys don't have to get married because they can go pay for the trim. But since you can't pay for the trim here legally,
yes. Who enforces this shit?
I get it, but you got to get married to get your in-house.
No, you ain't got you. Who gives a fuck about in-house pussy?
The people that want it.
No,
That's a different argument. I'm not making that argument.
No, I mean that's the argument I'm making. That's the reason why men get married. Men don't get married. I mean, men want families, yes, and they've been socialized too. But at the end of the day, they want sex. The men want sex.
Sex does not equal marriage, man.
True, sex don't equal marriage, but the best way to get sex that men think is to get married.
Oh, where's your study at, man? Okay, go. Where's your study at?
Lord.
Where's your study at?
Well, my study is anecdotal,
bullshit.
But
that's not
I'm
a study.
It's anecdotal. But
that's
most men, if you go to all of Kevin Samuel's shows, those men want to get married.
Why do they want to get married, sir?
For family.
No. Why do they want to get married?
Legacy.
No. Why do they want to get married?
I don't know, Dan.
They've been socialized to get married, okay, for their whole life. What's around you?
I understand they're socialized to get married, but it doesn't take away the fact that they want it. You're not going to reverse. You're not going to reverse the socialization.
Why do you want an iPhone or smartphone?
I don't have I'm an Android. I have a smartphone because that's the only thing that they provide.
In other words, you've been socialized to have one. Okay.
Wait, mental agility. Slow down for a second. Let me ask BGS a question because this is important to the conversation.
Okay.
Do you believe that? I guess the only way a concept or a thing can exist is by virtue of people being socialized for it. Is that it?
Is that the only way? No, but thing is that the main way? Okay.
So what you're saying is that conceptually marriage does not exist prior to the advent of a society. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. We fundamentally disagree, but I get you.
Okay. Prove it. Prove it, man. Prove it. You fundamentally disagree. It doesn't matter, man. I've been reading this shit for the last 20 years. Prove it. Go back. Go read the book. The origin and evolution of religion. They talk about this shit. Why you think the totemic people actually had totems, right? Identify different clans. In other words, this woman could not be paired with somebody of the same clan, right? Why you think black women give even though they spread their seed, right, have babies by multiple men, give their children the last name of the father to avoid mixing? Okay, it still exists. Okay. It still exists. Marriage, sex and marriage are not the same thing, right? Marriage is a way of arranging people to raise children. Go read the what is it? The Jarawa tribe, right? That whose civilization goes back 70,000 years. Can I finish my goddamn statement? Right?
I thought you were done. You went on for like 2 minutes.
Wait a minute. How can I be done in mid sentence?
I thought you were
Hey,
done,
keep
man.
cooking.
I thought you were wrapping it up.
No, how can I wrap it up in mid sentence?
I thought you were wrapping it up.
No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm in mid syllable. You thought I was done. Okay, how is that? How you think that?
Because I thought that was the point to the end of what you were saying. I thought that was the end of the point.
Why didn't you let me make the point then?
It sounded like the landing. It sounded like that was the big. Okay. So I thought that was the landing. Nothing at all, man. That sounded like.
Maybe
it sounded pretty concise, man.
Why don't you smoke a little bit and calm down, right? You didn't give me like 30 seconds, right? Go back and look at the Jarawa tribe, man. Go focus. They go back 70,000 years. They have marriage. Why did they say they actually pair women and the male and female off? Why do you think that is? They say it. Why do you think that is? By society. For to raise children. It's a conscious thing by society. It has nothing to do with sex. Okay?
I don't necessarily disagree with some of those conclusions.
No.
I think our disagreement.
Bullshit. Okay?
I think our disagreement hinges on something different.
Bullshit. Okay? It's bullshit.
It ain't. I just think that we disagree.
No, ain't no disagree. Bullshit, motherfucker.
BGS, answer this. How do men legally satisfy their biological imperative?
Legally? Is it legally? It's called, especially nowadays, man. It's find your coffee girl, pay her $10, fuck her, and go home. Okay.
Or you can fuck a big girl.
You can do that every day, man. In fact, you can actually go get a coffee girl and fuck more times than you can actually fuck your wife. Okay.
I mean, that's true, but most guys don't know that.
Oh, what you add? So so basically, what crime have you
legal way?
It's legal.
It's not legal to smash on a coffee girl.
Yes, it is.
Really? Okay.
It's been decriminalized. Okay. The thing is, who makes it illegal?
The state.
The state, right? The state can change it, can't they?
But they have not, and they're not going to.
They decriminalize sex, prostitutes, man. In what? How many states now?
Wasn't that like one way though?
In Baltimore, we good, but
New York, California, Texas, Louisiana, a host of others. They decriminalized all the sex trade. Okay, Maryland was it not Maryland, but North Carolina, same shit, right?
Rhode Island, we never even had it.
in other words, with the laws and all the kind of sanctions, they're socializing you to do what?
Hey, BGS, they just protect.
Don't jump over the question
because they give him football numbers.
Don't jump over my question. What question did I ask you, sir?
They are.
What? No, I don't jump over my question. What question did I ask?
You said, what are they socializing this for? What they
Yes.
socializing this for
is
is
marriage.
protecting women,
No,
women
marriage.
to get paid.
No, marriage. Okay.
Wait.
If you restrict sex, men are socialized to get married, right? Because you already raising them to do that, right? Basically, what it's called the carrot and the stick, right? They give you the carrot, all this Disney shit, right? And then the stick is if you get pussy and you buy it, guess what happens? Okay, that's the stick.
You go to jail.
You don't go to jail, you get fined. You don't really go to jail. But anyway,
you get fined.
And here in Texas, it's a felony.
I'm just saying, because if you're a pimp and you trying to organize that to get bread, they give you football numbers.
That has nothing to do with marriage. Okay, pimp is out there applying the trade.
So what you're saying is
how come you guys keep expanding what I'm talking about, right? To go well
because you're talking about coffee girls.
Coffee girls are renegade hoes, right?
Yeah, diesels.
Yeah. Well. So wait. So a hoe that works for a pimp is not a diesel.
No, she a diesel, but if that pimp gets caught up, he getting football numbers. That's what I'm saying. What they did is they freed up the women to make money the best way they can. But that man cannot make money off that woman, or he can get football numbers.
Why do you restrict prostitution in the first place?
That's a good question. Oh, because men won't get married.
Women won't get married. So in other words, sex does not equal marriage. That's what I'm trying to say.
If I may jump in real quick, BGS. What was the one of the rules for cabin boys back then during like his heavy sailing days and all that?
Who?
Like for cabin boys, wasn't like one of the roles to unfortunately alleviate the men?
Oh yeah, man, but that's still the case, man. Don't
shit.
Don't
join the Navy, folks. Don't join the Navy.
but really don't. The thing is, don't even have. Like I wish Lindy was here, but then Lindy told me because Lindy was was an officer, right? Was a military officer, right? And some of the stuff he told me about what went on in Afghanistan, which is a Muslim country, you don't want to know, okay?
Oh hell no.
And I will keep it that way though. And on top of that as well, didn't like the I guess what was the Spartans? Or in the Roman Empire, whoever it was.
The Greeks, the Spartans, the Romans. Okay. In fact, what they're trying to do is in this republic is push it back to where the Romans had it, right? Where you can actually sexually have a prepossessing boy. They used to marry them off. They used to castrate boys. And,
hell no.
And sell them off as wives, right? Wait, they're basically doing this shit now with this transgender shit, right?
Oh shit!
Well, I thought that was to I guess soften the landing for the artificial womb and all that.
Okay.
My fault.
There's a whole lot of stuff that's mixed up in it, man. That I would probably get flagged for if I start talking about it. But go ahead.
My bad.
I was in Iraq in 2007 during the surge, and there was a female that got locked up. And she did like 5 years, but she got locked up because she tried to ship a duffel bag full of money because guys were getting casualty pays and they was paying for sex. They said that she had an estimated $320,000 in that duffel bag.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's like if guys could pay for it, they're going to pay for it. However, legally, we can't. So that means that these guys, they're going to the ones that can barely get some trim, because I got lower enlisted soldiers below me. And when they get their first cut, they ready to marry. Like they are ready to marry because they want that in-house.
They're ready to get married. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's go ahead and tell the truth, shame the devil about the military and marriage, right? Who encourages you guys to get married, right?
Nobody.
The military does. Why? Because you get more money. You get more money. You get more money. You get housing. You get a whole bunch of incentives to get married. Do you not?
Yes, but we don't coach that.
No.
They just know it.
You don't have to. You don't have to coach it if it's incentivized, bro.
Mental. Come on, man. Stop. Come on, man. Stop.
We be telling these guys stop marrying these girls that work at the strip club. We be telling these dudes stop marrying bartenders. They don't
Oh,
want to
they can't be
listen
that
because
dumb.
they get their first piece
Come on,
combined with
no,
those incentives.
mental. Stop bullshitting me, man. My brother, I got a whole bunch of people in the military, man. They get work with a whole bunch of people. My brother's in the military. They incentivize you to get married because marriage makes a stable soldier, right? You get all these fucking incentives and extra money if you get married. Do you not?
We get basic allowance for housing.
You get
That's it.
you get increase in pay. Do you not?
No,
You don't. So you
no,
don't get a stipend for your wife.
They do get a
no.
stipend for the
You don't.
You
You
lying,
get
bro.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I'm literally in there right now. You get a basic allowance for housing.
And what
That's
else?
all you get.
And what else?
Now here's the deal.
What
Here's
else?
the deal. Because I've been in meetings and they're looking at who we're going to promote. Now they will say, well, this dude has a wife and kids. Let's send him to the promotion board. But they prioritize that, but then we say, is this dude a good soldier? If he's not a good soldier, he's not going to the board. It don't matter if he's married or not.
Every because in the fucking military, man, you can get trim anytime you want to, man. This pussy has nothing to do with it, man. Basically, when you get married, the military incentivizes you to get married because you get all these fucking extras if you have a wife.
BJS, a lot of these soldiers in here today are cornballs. They can't get trimmed.
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna blow it out. I'm gonna blow it out. A lot of these dudes in the barracks are fucking each other because they cannot get trimmed.
They're fucking each other because they want to. You can buy the shit. You can buy the shit.
Holy shit! Yeah, they can buy it, but they're afraid to. A lot of these dudes that's in here now.
Okay, all right. Mental. The whole society socializes you to do what? By the carrot and the stick, to get married.
Get married.
Make a stable society. That's what we're saying, right? Sex and marriage have nothing to do with each other. Okay, nothing to do with each other. Okay.
Compared to who?
Sex. If they didn't socialize you to get married and basically it was a free love shit, that's what's happening right now, right? They're losing the ability to actually socialize these kids to get married. What's happening to marriage?
I understand what you're saying. What's happened to marriage? Marriage is declining because all these women are going for the top 20%.
No, they going for it, but they're still fucking the regular guys. Okay.
You're getting fucked by everybody.
Everybody
Anyway.
fucking.
I can confirm that they're getting fucked by everybody, guys who are up there or not. It's just the issue is they vocalize what they want, but some dudes are like, that's too much, and get scared off.
What's going on with social media is basically the guys are getting discouraged because in other words, and I've heard it from so-called monks and incels, right? Dating is not fun anymore because these bitches are insufferable.
Explain these guys. Explain these 30% of guys between 18 and 30 that are not having sex.
What did I just say? Did you hear me?
They're quitting ahead of time.
Men are dropping out.
They're preemptively quitting.
Did you hear me?
Because of social media.
Did you just hear me?
Yes, because of social media.
No. Did you just hear me? Why did I say that men are dropping out and going monk and doing all this other shit? Why did I just say that? What did I just say?
They're seeing the stuff on social media.
No. What did I say? Repeat what I said because you're not listening.
Well, then I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear me. Because you're listening to what respond and not listening to understand, right?
No, I'm trying to respond, but I was responding to what you just said.
No. What are you listening to respond and not listening to understand? Did you understand what I said? Why they're dropping out?
No, tell me why they dropping
It's because dating.
Oh, it's not fun anymore.
Because women are what? Insufferable.
Yeah.
That's why they're dropping out. That's what I hear all the time. I read it from white guys. I hear it all the time from black guys. It has nothing to do. They can go out and buy it or get trim or whatever they actually want to. They don't want to do it because it's too much work. Women are actually insufferable. It's not fun anymore. Okay.
And also BGS on top of that as well, because I think Ron Wills touches on a video well, but some dudes, their strategy for getting women, like they'll actually like wear them down, like you just be persistent about getting one. I've actually seen this happen in real life where my classmate in the trucking academy, all that stuff. She mentioned that her husband wore her down like throughout the years and whatnot. Like he first approached her and whatnot. She said, nah, they like over these Loki kept begging and shit. Like just kept pleading, placating for her, shit like that, bro.
My partner did that. And we have a disagreement about that because
it's pathetic.
That's the strategy. That's what they want, right? It worked. Guess what? It worked. Did it not?
Yeah, it worked. Shit, bro. It cost him nigga dignity.
It would cost him. He was willing to pay because that's what he wanted, right? But the thing is that my thing is find one that wants you, which is much easier.
Right.
Okay?
So
Right.
what's happening in general with the men that have dropped out is they've made a cost benefit analysis about what the things that they desire, whether for a long-term commitment or a short-term fling, they're not willing to play. So they took their dick, threw it over their shoulder, and they're staying home. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's it, right?
yeah.
Oh,
I
but
got
did he
I got
marry her
Hold
over?
on. Lewis, get in. 'Cause
Hey,
we're
what's
gonna
up?
wrap up in about 15 minutes. Go ahead, Lewis.
I have a question for Mental. When
Okay.
was you in the army?
What am I in? I'm in infantry.
No, I said, are you still in?
Oh yeah.
What rank?
When
Go ahead,
Staff
Lewis.
sergeant.
It's a right
because
question.
when I got into the Marine Corps in '98, the first thing my platoon sergeant and my XO told us, do not get married.
Okay.
And they told us stories of our staff NCOs that deleted themselves because they got divorced. They told stories of officers and staff NCOs that deleted themselves from divorce. They said, do not get married because everybody's on game. If they target lifers, if they divorce you, they guarantee to get half your pension. Do not get married no matter what.
Yeah.
My cousin's wife just got 35% of his.
Can I be heard? Hello?
Yeah, we
No,
hear
you
you.
good, Lewis? You
Keep
good,
going.
Lewis?
Keep going, Lewis. Yeah. Keep
I
going,
think
Lewis.
that's what I'm saying.
I
We
think
tell
you
these
would
guys not to get married.
Yeah, but the military actually incentivizes them to get married. In fact, if I'm real, V's actually a captain right now in the army.
Here's the
I think
bullshit. Here's the bullshit of it all, right? And I'm gonna give
Uh-huh.
Kenny. There is not a lot of soldiers, Marines, or sailors who are hard pressed for pussy. It's just impossible. You may not get
Charles,
the
when was the last time you been in? It's a different breed of soldiers.
Hey, we're not gonna have
Can I finish? Can I
Yeah.
finish?
Go ahead.
We only got 15 minutes. And calm down, Mental.
Hold up. Number one, are women still attracted to a man in uniform?
Just
It doesn't have the same value. It started
No.
just keep going. Just keep going, Charles.
So in other words, they can get it. You may not get what you want, but you can get it. And that's just rule in life. They can get it. Guess what? A lot of men just said, I'm either gonna pay for it to the highest percent of festivity, or I'm just not gonna play the games at all. See, a lot of y'all just need to be around young men. Let me put it to you this way. This is what's happening.
You got another minute, Charles.
Oh, we're gonna use that minute, BGS.
Okay.
Young men are slaying these bitches left and right. They're just not trusting them. They either doing two things. They're running through their friends like the Royal Rumble or the Ultimate Warrior, or they're just not at all. That's the extremes about it. Niggas, the only reason niggas don't get pussy is not because it's so difficult. These bitches are giving it up for fucking popcorn.
He's right.
So it's the two things that's going on, because even for my security firm, BGS, I gotta tell you something. I got an offer to be like either a sergeant or lieutenant for this next department, but I'll tell you that later. And don't forget, I'm gonna have a show later tonight too.
Okay, put your link in. You got 15 seconds.
But I'm gonna say this: when you see about these young men, the reason why you bring them into the military is to bring them out that awkward shell. Once they get out that awkward shell, they become monsters. They fucking everything. And see, here's another thing about a uniform that people don't understand. It's just a suit. You look like a different class of Negro, and we're just talking about black soldiers, black service members. You look like a different class of soldier. There's a reason why bitches are predatory against them, because it's attractive. They have benefits. You get BAH and BAQ. You get education. Then you're in shape. What happens to them niggas when they get out? A lot of them lose their shape unless you're.
All right, Charles.
But go ahead.
All right.
We got you.
V, go ahead.
Yo, what's good? What is good? The military part, right? I am in the military, captain, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know why you trying to explain shit to these niggas, bro.
No, just go ahead, man. Don't.
Yeah, I don't know why it's obvious. It's obvious that it's socialization.
Does the military incentivize
Yes, it does.
Get
Obviously,
okay.
it does.
How?
Every dude that comes in the military knows that you get an extra, at the minimum, $1,200 to $1,500 a month if you go and marry a fucking another girl. So, why you ain't trying to get an extra 2-3 bands a month by going and marrying a chick? It's not for some in-house pussy. That's the most bullshit I ever heard in my life. It's because the bread, the money. I'm not trying to stay in the barracks. I got soldiers, so that's the reason they get married. We tell them not to get married.
Sir, here's what you fail to realize.
Yeah,
what you fail to realize because I've had these
mental. I will mute you if you don't let him finish. Okay,
let him go because I've already tried to solve this solution.
I thought I already had 38 seconds. I don't know what the fuck.
No. Go ahead. I'm muting.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But
yeah, like he don't know what he's talking about. So I mean, I got soldiers. I have more soldiers under my command. No, I ain't even took command yet, and I probably been in charge of more soldiers than this man.
But it's all right. No, it's all right. It's all right.
Goddamn lie, brother.
They get married.
Hey, let it go. BGS, let me go, man.
They get married for a specific reason. They do get benefits, and it is socialization why people get married nowadays. It's not that it's not just biological. It's the fact that it's socialized.
Because that was the one question that V asked me a year ago, right?
Because like a year ago, bro.
Should he get married? Should he not get married? Why should he get married versus
Hey V,
not, right?
Hey V, what did I tell you when you asked me that question?
Y'all said no. Basically, overall no.
If you want to be general staff level, you got
to get married. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the only reason, and that's what. And this is the last thing I'll say. I'll land a plane right here at the minute mark. That's the only reason that I see that people who are going that are of higher socioeconomic class, like how you were talking about the levels that you are at, diesels and 97s and all that stuff. Those people are getting married for specific reasons, the actual traditional reasons for marriage, which is because it's actually set up. They're marrying in-house with people who have the same amount of money as them and to reach a specific goal because they know that it's a business. Everybody else who's married, especially the knuckleheads is doing it in the military, is going to get took for their shit later on in life. Because obviously we're not talking about the 10% population, the 20% population, even the 30% population. We're talking about the 70 to 60% of men,
average Joe,
40 and 60 grand a year, if they lucky, and they getting married and don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
that's not why.
That's true. Hey, BGS, let me
go ahead. Jump in. You got 2 minutes.
All right. So, hey, just to squash all the military, the back and forth, because everybody gonna have their opinion, and everybody is right their way.
It's a fact.
As a retired guy, hey,
it ain't over.
It is over. It's a fact. Go ahead.
Let it go. Let me say this, okay? As a 3-time, like my brother said before, the biggest jackass in the world. You keep doing it 3 times, going down that aisle. Leave it alone. Tell them young men that thinking about it, leave it alone. Charles and everybody else is right. It's traditional. If the pattern is set, if you grew up in some kind of traditional, if you grew up under a man that was doing it, you're gonna try it. You're gonna do it. It's ingrained in you. Yeah. Okay, and the women are looking for it. Just as the colonel said, hey, you looking good, you standing tall, they gonna come at you. I don't care if you in church, I don't care if you walking down the street, if you in the club, and once you look, you got the testosterone that they all looking for, and you going for it. Trust and believe. If you in any kind of sports or any kind of the regular man shit that we used to always have for our boys, and we're bringing them up, your stuff is there, and you going for it. You going for the women. That's why it's so. You got to get these young ones in the right frame of mind. And come on, who does that? Okay, you take it for granted that they're gonna do the right thing. You take it for granted they're listening to what you tell them. And like I just said, they don't listen. And it's men we don't learn. That's why we got this forum here now. BGS, thank you for that. I hit you up the cash app for that. Because just think, brothers, if 20 years ago somebody could have pulled you up multiple times and you could carry around all this information and you could get it, how many mistakes you would have not made, especially when it comes to who? The women,
females.
Yeah,
there's also I mean, it's the incentives are pretty much the same in politics.
Demetrius, you're after equalizer.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's the same thing in politics, and it's the same thing in corporate America, especially if you're a man. Like if you're not married, like you're suspect. Like that's just the way it is. They don't give a fuck, especially if you're black. I go through that shit.
Facts.
Don't matter how smart I am, I'm running circles around these dudes making over $1 million.
Yeah.
But guess what my problem is? My only one kink, I'm not married.
You're not married. Yeah. You're not in a group. You're not in the
That's right.
Mafia does the same shit, man.
Yes.
If you're not married, you can't move up.
Yes.
What president hasn't been married?
Exactly.
Hasn't had a
Well,
wife.
there's been one. There's been
Only
one.
one.
Only one. Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's like I told V. When I told V, when you want to go to those upper echelons, you're going to balls, you're going to different retreats. They're gonna be like, "So how's your wife?"
Yeah.
It's like I just told the Padawan. Well, I got multiple Padawans now. Call me Obi-Wan Negrobi. But anyway, it's the fact of the matter. When you go to certain situations and certain things, you have to have a significant other. You cannot, before you can guide officers, motherfuckers are gonna be like, "How can you tell us something you can't even guide your family?"
Yeah.
It's
also too, Charles.
One at a time. Who's next? Okay. Actually, what's his name? Dream. What's his name? What's his name? He hadn't spoken yet. He was supposed to go after Equalizer.
Yeah.
You said Demetrius was next.
Demetrius. Yeah.
Demetrius, go ahead.
All right, peace. Yeah. So yeah, this is my first time on your channel.
Yeah.
Because I've been listening and I, learned about you through Kevin Samuels and Obsidian.
Appreciate you.
No doubt. So I at this moment in the conversation, I agree with mental agility about the part of men getting married, just that in-house sex. And the reason why I say that is because basically a lot of things that everybody's saying in a roundabout way or directly even is that dudes tired of the rigmarole of going out on dates or what have you.
Okay.
So let me just marry a chick, and then I don't got to do that running around, and we know how the dating game goes. And to something that a brother said about how he wore a chick down. Sometimes brothers get an opportunity at a chick that they know that no other way she would really date him.
Okay.
So she baits him. So he baits her in. Well, let's get married. Let's get married. Let's get married. When he already know this chick ain't really feeling him. Matter of fact, she fine as hell. She really out his league, but he kept throwing the bait of marriage to get a little baddie. He threw that bait of marriage. So she married him, even though he knew that she really didn't want him. He didn't. He knew that she really didn't want him. It was just the marriage that
So why do you have to have that chick?
Because I mean, if it's a fine chick for whatever reason that you really hung up on, and you know that a lot of dudes ain't asking women hand in marriage, you could kind of just press
So it's not about sex. No,
well,
hold on a second. So it's not about pussy. It's not about pussy, is it?
Yeah, in this instance, yeah, because he's doing it to be able to lock it down.
So in other words, if you got 150 million pussies in the country, right? So it's not really about the pussy. It's about that one chick. What does she have that the other chicks don't have?
It's hard.
No. What is it?
That's the question. It's hard for the average dude to say get a beautiful chick if that's what she is.
No, so she's
it
beautiful.
Feels like projection, man.
No. Hold on a second. So why? So why is he's not getting because the pussy? Is it? He wants to possess a beautiful woman. That's the difference.
I mean, you can say that. You can say that.
No. That's not. No. Why does a woman want a guy that's famous? A dick is a dick, right?
Well, you could take fame or you could take money. It depends on what you.
No. So, but the thing is fame and money the same as pussy or dick?
No. I'm not really clear.
No. Stop. I'm gonna start doing you guys like the women, man. Don't bullshit me. Let's be real.
Brother, that's one thing I don't do is bullshit. If
it is fame and money.
We don't agree.
Hold on a second,
brother.
Hold on a second. Is fame and money the same as pussy and dick? Is it the same?
Oh no, that's not the same.
Thank you. So basically, a beautiful woman that we want a beautiful woman is because of the way she looks. She's a trophy, right?
Yeah, you could say so. Yeah.
So you can get a 3 or 4 that has better pussy and better head.
Absolutely. Facts.
So it's not about what pussy. It's about
so let me deal with that.
okay.
So,
Now, okay.
That
Now,
sounds like
go ahead.
projection, man. Get
let
Go
me
ahead.
deal with
Now,
that.
hold on,
I'm
V.
about
Hold
to say
on,
because I want to talk to this because he messed up when he said beautiful.
Let me talk to the
Jenny,
people.
please. Okay. Okay.
Let
Please.
BGS talk and move on.
Yeah. Please. Okay.
So
I
you
don't
can still,
unless we want to start dropping people. Is that what you guys want?
No, because I got something I want to say. I don't want to be dropped.
Drop them, BGS.
Do you want me to drop you?
No.
Stop interrupting then. Okay. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
yeah. So I was gonna say,
Demetrius.
even to the 3 or 4, he could be motivated by the same thing. She got good hair, she got good pussy. I want to lock this thing down just for me. Let me use marriage to do it, because just saying I'm gonna make you my girlfriend it may not be enough to entice her. So let me make you let me marry you, then I can have that thing locked down for me.
For you exclusively, right?
Exclusive.
Okay, but the thing is, you does he have to marry her?
Well, no, he doesn't have to marry,
No.
but he has to come. He has to bait her in with something besides just because everybody gonna make her, do the girlfriend thing.
If she's a 3 or 4, he can just move her in, right? She'll probably take it.
But if she got that type of head you talk about, that's that bumper rough in the date, amongst men.
How many marriages are sexless in the United States? About 30%.
Oh,
A lot.
Move on, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just basing it off what you said.
What I'm saying is, things you guys are trying to put sex and pussy together with marriage. I'm telling you, they're two separate things.
Correct.
Now, I'm not exactly trying to do that because I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that there is a motivation. There are brothers that are motivated by locking women down and using marriage as the leverage to do that, to have that guarantee.
Some.
Absolutely.
Most men get married is because it's the right thing to do. Okay?
I agree.
The vast majority. Okay, because you're socialized to believe in marriage. It's the right thing to do. Because when the brothel, which is the reason that the first thing to do when women got the vote, there's 2 things they did, right? Cut out the alcohol and get rid of the brothels. First 2 things they did. Why do you think they did that?
Absolutely. Just like you said, men wouldn't get married. I'm with you on that.
So now
that's why they never legalized prostitution today.
Now women are giving it up left and right, and there's free love and all this kind of bullshit. You don't have to get married to have sex. That's what's happened to marriage.
Right, but it's still not at the rate if it was legal.
If they legalized prostitution, marriage would actually plunge even more.
Over.
Be over.
Right, it would be over. Right.
In other words, there's a carrot you actually socialize to get married because it's in the best interest of the state for you to do so.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get you across.
I agree.
Okay.
You see that with the taxes. Not hard.
All right, mental agility. Go ahead, man. You've been chomping at the bit. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, man. Say what you're gonna say.
Thank you. 2 minutes. It's at 54. All right, cool. So this V4V. First and foremost, you ain't took command. You probably a lieutenant. I mean, you were a lieutenant. You're a captain. You ain't been in combat arms, so you ain't have a large troop of soldiers like I had. First and foremost.
What are you talking about?
No. Skip that. No. Don't even work. Are you combat arms? No, you're not. All right,
it doesn't.
Cool.
It does.
All right. So I'm building. Let me build.
No.
If you haven't been in the military for a while, so here's the deal.
Mental. Calm down, right?
Let me say this. Number one,
calm down. Okay.
If
you want to have a dialogue with him, I'll allow it. Right.
Matter of fact, I'll do this for you, Mental. I'm holding a show 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. I will change the goddamn title of my show just for you. Don't tell me what the hell I haven't been or have not done. Even when it comes to the military, guess what? I'm a better soldier than what the fuck they producing now. Have been and always.
Exactly what I'm saying.
So here's the point. Here's the point.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Here's the point B.
All right. Calm down, y'all. Okay. It's not about the military, right?
Right.
Number one, mental agility. Number one, he's a captain. He has to administrate these people, right? That's his job. Are you a captain? What's your rank?
Administration
what's your rank?
Is not
what's your rank?
I am a staff sergeant, so
what's
I'm
your
there
rank?
with the soldier.
No, that's not the same.
So I'm there with my soldier. I know he doesn't do anything, but let me tell you, as an officer, he plans.
He administrates.
As an NCO, we execute.
No.
Execute.
Okay, mental.
Hey, BGS, just let him go. I just let him go.
Okay,
Please let me go.
Let him bury himself.
Thank you. So it's
You know
like
what,
this right here.
BGS?
No. Let him go. He got a minute. Y'all
Thank you.
calm
I have
down.
a minute.
I'm
Let
ready
me
to
have
end it.
this.
Really ready to end it. Okay.
So it's like this right here. We tell these soldiers not to get married, not to get married. And then when Obama, back in 2011, lifted Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and they legalized same-sex marriage, we go through these ranks and tell these dudes, hey, look, you don't have to marry that chick, bro. Marry each other. They're like, no. I'm like, bro, if you're trying to get that BAH hustle, that's the way to go. Marry each other.
I thought it wasn't a hustle.
No.
Okay.
It's not a hustle.
It
Those
is a
guys,
hustle.
Okay.
It's always
those
been a
guys,
hustle.
no,
It's been a
those
goddamn
guys
hustle.
are trying.
Look, mental. Did you just hear what you just said?
Yes, I did, but
What
I
you just
told
said?
them to
No.
marry each other.
What would you? Because it's a what? What'd you just say?
I told them if you want the hustle, but them
The
dudes are
hustle.
not marrying.
That's
Those
that
dudes
can,
are not
hold
marrying for
on a second.
hustle.
Hold on.
Those
No,
dudes are married for the trim.
mental. You just said it. You just said it. Now finish.
Guess what?
You got 40 more seconds. Go ahead, man. Finish
Thank you.
your bill.
And guess what? You know why they say no, sorry, no. The reason why they say no is because they in love with their poom poom. I'm done.
All right. Go ahead, V. You got a minute.
Can I get after V?
You can get a minute after V. Go ahead.
This
In fact,
all I
you
wanted to say.
you got 2 minutes. You got defend yourself. You got 2. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll take the first 30 seconds defending myself. I didn't interrupt you, mental agility. Staff, I'm sorry. I didn't know you. Senior NCO, got it. But I'm always be more in charge of more people than you because I am non-combat arms. Non-combat arms commands always have more under their command than the combat arms do. The
true.
only combat arms that have more people that they command over are ADA units. You're an infantryman. My platoon size was larger than some companies that we have at the largest fucking tank division in the fucking country, in the Army. So I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't interrupt you, so stop talking.
Okay.
Number 2, when I take command and I have been in charge of 2 different platoons, I'm an aide de camp, and I've been an XO, and I just finished Pathfinder, and I just finished fucking Air Assault. So I don't understand what you're talking about. I do every single thing that you can do and probably better. That's why you're not in my position. Number 3, when it comes to why these people get married, which is why we're on here talking, you said it yourself. Most men in the military, black, white, Mexican, Asian, get married because, especially if they're on the enlisted side, they get married more so that they can get out of the barracks. That is all I ever heard my soldiers talk about in my first platoon of 53, my second platoon of 49, my XO time as the largest fucking logistician company in the Army. I went from the second largest to the first largest. And that's all that the fucking soldiers that got married early, 19, 18, 22, 25, the enlisted young junior soldiers got married so they could get out of the barracks or they fell in love with some pussy. That was a smaller select few of them. So what you're saying is completely incorrect. And I don't know what soldiers you've been leading on the 11 Bravo side that have been telling you that they don't get married because there's not enough pussy where they're at. Because that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. If you are so in touch with leading these young soldiers, I'm scared for them.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm done. I don't see how what you're most concerned about when it comes to your soldiers, Mr. I've been combat arms, I've been deployed, all these things, and you're more worried about the pussy that they're getting instead of making sure their lives are taken care of. They can shoot a weapon. They can move, shoot, and communicate. I don't understand why you going down that road. So that's all I got to say.
So I didn't want to get into this personal shit, man, because
I'm more concerned about them making the proper choices.
The thing is, why my statement was the Army incentivizes people to get married. That's why they put the carrot out there. Okay.
Yeah, and I told them that there's a loophole for that.
That doesn't matter. That's not the point, though. Mental. It wasn't the point. It was not the point at all. Okay, you're going past the point. That was not the point.
Can I speak?
You got it. You got a minute, Charles. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. Look, last time I got in 99. I'm an old soldier, I guess.
You are.
Still a kick-ass. No matter what year it is, I'm still a warrior, no matter what. I've been a police officer for nearly 2 decades, been a soldier for over 2 decades. Let me put it to you this way. At BlurCon, I was in charge of the safety of 10,000 plus people and multiple celebrities. A soldier is what he does, no matter if he's in or out. I'm going to tell you something. The people that are under my command for my security firm, the average age is 20. I hear the stories. They talk to me about women. They're not socially awkward. They're doing two things. They would actually be considered by young women traditionally handsome men.
Got 30 seconds, Charles.
So, I know what the game is. Even you slipped up and had the Freudian slip of saying it's a hustle because everybody knows when you get married, you get more benefits. You get more tax breaks. You get the fuck out of those barracks that nobody wants to be in, unless you're Air Force. Their barracks are beautiful. But see, you got to understand something. I would welcome thee and mental agility today because I might change and actually have something interesting to call old soldier, middle soldier, and new soldier. Let's talk. Woo!
Yeah, my brother retired, man. My brother's, my brother's 60, 61. Okay, he's retired, right? He retired from the military like almost 20 years ago, right? That's the reason he fucking got married. Incentives, huh?
I said he went to Nam.
No, he's not now. He's too old, too young for now, man. He's in Iraq.
Okay. He probably went to Desert Storm then.
He did go to Desert Storm.
Desert Shield.
Yeah. Right after 9/11. Yeah.
Okay.
So in other words,
Charles, hey, I'm here to come. I'm here to come because we got old soldier and new soldier with V4V, and then we got a real soldier. You know what I'm saying?
There is no such thing as a fake soldier, man.
Yeah, we got a real soldier.
No. I said new soldier.
That's what it is.
I said old soldier, new soldier, and real soldier. I didn't say anything about
every soldier. Only one. The combat is only 1 out of 7, man. That's the first thing
because Charles know this. If you say sir to me, I say don't call me sir because I work for a living.
But if you say sir to me, I would say thank you because we understand the difference between you and I.
This is what I'm talking about.
You're a civilian now.
Can I say
go ahead, V. Go ahead,
Can I say one thing? Like mental agility, this is, I'm what, 4th generation military. I'm the first out of all my and this is personal stuff, and then I'm gonna just move on to what I really want to say. I don't understand what your personal attacks towards me are going to accomplish when it comes to what your mindset is going to be. If you come on to, no, I'm not done talking, bro. I haven't interrupted you. I don't know why you keep interrupting me. I'm younger than you. I've been in less time than you, and I somehow still have more emotional control over myself.
And that's all right. Don't V.
Yeah, all I'm trying to say to him is like, hey, the whole point of this show was what BGS was saying, was about marriage and divorce. Then it had to derail off into what is it affecting whenever it comes to the military. We all know generally how much worse divorce, relationships, and everything that's on the general population side is as compared to the military. So why are we acting confused? The whole point of this entire live is what BGS was trying to say is how is this impacting young general population of Black men, the youth? We're past the people who've already been married. They're telling us what their fucking experience was. So let's just sit here and listen so that we don't make the same mistakes. We're not on here to argue about who got more fucking clout in the military and what you think is right in the military. Only 1% of the fucking country joins. We need to be talking about the general population of young Black men below the age of 20, 25 years old, and maybe even 30. That's not what we on here to argue about. I'm not on here to argue with you. Charles ain't on here to argue with you. We're here to listen to other people's perspectives on what they think about marriage and divorce. Yeah. So stop, bro.
Yeah. So
I don't know what you're saying. Stop, bro. For
no.
Argue with him.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Maybe it's this the point we need to close out. The thing is, man.
Hey,
hold on. Mental, how old are you, man?
I'm 39.
I've been studying this shit longer than you've been alive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, on the ground, different countries notice the same shit, right? That's why I'm here telling you. That's what he just said what I've been saying for years, okay? Marriage is not what you think it is. Okay, you've been socialized to think that it's something that it's not. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's blue pill shit. Okay,
I
marriage.
understand that.
Now, what you keep butting me though. What are you
I didn't
butting me
butt you.
about? Yes,
I didn't butt you. I said BGS. I understand that. What I'm telling you is this. When he said that he led more troops than I have, and he's never led troops in combat, but I have. That's when he itched to scratch that I needed to scratch. I wouldn't have said nothing to him if that wasn't the case.
Mental. He has to administrate all these people, their benefits, their incentives, their money. He has to do that shit. You don't have to do that shit like he does, do you?
I don't care if he's a 41.
No. Fuck that. My point was administration, not combat. Okay. Only 1 in 7 even fight. Okay. What happens to the other six people?
Somebody gotta make sure you pay.
No. What happens to the other 6 people, Mental?
They go home to their families.
No.
Yeah, they go home to their family.
Only 1 in 6 people in the military fight. Okay.
Yeah, the
other party
support.
Okay, it's called support.
Yeah, soft skill MOSs. I understand.
Support, right? Cool. In other words, he has to administrate all these people, not just a portion of them. He's an administrator. Okay, he knows
not all these people. Those people in his battalion. Those enlisted under him, they do the job, and he just makes sure.
Captains at his level have to administrate people. You don't.
Man, please, they don't work.
No, yes, that's your opinion. No, they do work. Okay.
My thing is though, like, what are you getting from shitting on the rest of the force?
It's clout.
What is it? Like that is all. That's what I don't. Because if this is what I'm saying. Like, let's say this was pulled off the internet and showed to wherever you're stationed at. This is how you feel about the fellow people who are supposed to go on the war.
No. It's okay. Basically,
how is that supposed to make? Like, I don't understand that.
I just want to shit on him in general.
No. Mental. My brother's.
You weren't talking about me. You're talking about
hold a second. My brother retired as the top, right? Okay. E8, right? My neighbor is a captain. He told me what he has to do for his soldiers, right? What he had to learn. Okay. So what V is saying is exactly what he told me, right? Basically, you have to administrate all these people. Okay. My point was, who incentivizes the people to actually get married? Okay. He's the guy that would do that. Okay. He administrates these people. You don't. He does.
The only incentives that incentivize these soldiers to get married are the incentives, because the people tell these guys not to get married.
That has nothing. Why do they get married, boss? The hustle, right?
No.
Why do you get married? The hustle, right?
In-house.
Bullshit.
Yeah, well, I just want to add a little bit because I was a military brat. I do believe that the other side of what y'all saying, that it is an incentive. I mean, like you said, BGS. It's not. I definitely don't believe all or even like majority of men get married for in-house. But as far as the military is concerned, I mean, once you get married in the military, your spouse can now travel with you. The kids can travel with you. If I had a stepfather. My mom was in the military. My stepfather was in the military. So now, your stepkids can travel. I mean, we know the medical aspect of when you get married. So you can marry a woman who has children, and now her children can go up under your insurance, even though those are not your biological children.
I just want to ask this. Go ahead, finish the meeting.
We got 10 more minutes. We're going to close it out because it's gone way past where it's supposed to go. But go ahead.
Right. So so you have those. You have those incentives when when you get married that you don't have, obviously, when you're not married. So and as brothers already have said, it's many other, the pay, the travel, the insurance, the living on base, getting into the PDAX. It's a number of things. Even
you get an increased food budget because you got kids.
No, you don't.
And now you can live.
Come on, man.
Yes, you do. You get more BAS whenever you get more dependents. Hey, since I'm the administrator, I'll tell you the truth. You do get increase in BAS and BAH upon how many dependents that you have.
Yep.
So not on how many dependents you have, because you can be in a place like where I live in DC, and they're gonna give you BAS anyway because you're not over here to get food at the DFAC when the DFAC opens.
Okay.
So
Okay.
no, that's wrong.
Okay, come on, man. Come on. It's always a but, man. But the thing is, the vast majority of people get married because of what? Just what he said, okay?
In-house.
It's not.
It's not. Get the fuck out of here, man. we already debunked it. Like 5 people just came up and debunked that shit. But go ahead.
BGS, I just gotta ask you this one question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the title and wait for another day, since everybody got a little bit of Country Boys got Anna. Please post. I got the link to my channel in the back.
If you have time, the best time to do it is right after this one, because people
I'm gonna do it right after this one. The link is in the back chat.
Okay.
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5-10 minutes.
No. Post it in the regular chat, man, so people can actually.
I'm gonna post it in the regular chat. If anybody wants to get the continuation of this shit, I'm gonna do it. Here's the continuation. Here's my link. I'm going to change the topic. I'm going to change the heading of my shit. I'm still going to keep Aquaman because he's one of our black superheroes. But we're going to have it called the Old Soldier, the Old Soldier, the Administrator, and the Real Soldier, in parentheses. But we're going to have this topic and this talk later on my show. Give me about 10 minutes, folks.
It's gone. And then it blew up way beyond the scope of what I want to talk about. Basically, the thing is, I worked for 30 years with a whole bunch of retired and even in-house military, man, for like 35 years, man. They all told me the same goddamn shit. Okay, all of them. No, they got married because of the incentives. They all said the same shit. Regular soldiers, man. Regular soldiers. It doesn't matter. Go ahead, man.
I just got done working for a GO for the last year, bro. A combat arms GO as a POG. I beat out all the other combat arms people. But you know what I'm really upset about is that I really came on here and I saw that fucking what is the channel that created that divorce attorney guy that came on?
It was in Soft Underbelly. Actually put
Soft Underbelly. That place makes so many good videos about what's actually going on in America and the derelict poverty. And then they went in and he was talking about. I watched that video last week with that guy in it actually. So I was really waiting for you. I was going to request it from you about earlier this week on Monday to see if you would go and watch that video and maybe comment on it. Or maybe your commentary stuff. But I think that what you said was completely correct about what he was saying. And he's obviously been watching the spaces, the black pill stuff he was saying. But I hear that mostly from all divorce lawyers.
Because they see
whether they're the lead attorney or that guy. Most of the divorce attorneys that even go on like people's shows like Valuetainment or like Fresh and Fit, all those people, they all say the same shit. And it's the same stuff you guys have been saying for fucking years, but just when pertains to, black men. So I really appreciate that.
BGS, can I get in?
Real quick, man, because I'm getting ready to end in like 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. All I want to say is to the young brothers, if you're thinking about getting married, for the love of God, get a prenup. Do everything you can to protect yourself.
Yeah, if you have to do it, don't go
without. If you're gonna do it, get a prenup. Do everything possible to protect yourself from her getting half when you worked all your life for it.
Which we do not suggest. In the black management, we do not suggest it unless it's like if you're a guy like V, okay, it behooves you to actually get married, okay? It behooves you to actually get married. But everybody else, think about it. But people are gonna do it anyway, okay? Because they've been socialized.
Exactly. That's why I said just get a prenup, do everything you can to protect yourself.
There are no general officers, because once you get to general officers or even senior enlisted, so sergeant majors that are past brigade, and you get to division sergeant major time, you are not, none of them that have come through at least all of Force Com's areas. I don't know if you all know the difference between Force Com, North Com, UCOM, all these places, but at least I've only been a part of Force Com and a little bit of UCOM. But Force Com areas, all brigade sergeant majors and above, all full-bird colonels and above, the minus 1 or 2 exceptions, are married, have children. And if they're not on their first marriage, they're mostly either they've remarried.
Yeah.
Because you are elected by the Senate. The Senate takes into a whole bunch. You are elected by those for those positions. They're not looking at just the fact that you went to this many combat deployments. You have this many badges. You have this many time with how many larger companies, or you were in charge of this many soldiers. It's about how you were, along with what your ties are to the military. Do you have an incentive to push the enterprise forward? Are you going to stay later? Do you have children? Do you have a wife?
And you're carrying what it called American values with you. You got to be a representative of it. So that's the reason why. Anyway, go real quick.
I was gonna say, I just want to ask a question.
Closing thoughts, quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what about one of the rule of thumbs that I've never been married, however, but one of the rule of thumbs that I've dated with was dating women that had a father in their life, and preferably their parents still together. I've had a level of success with that, and not necessarily worked out, but we were able to coexist, even if it didn't work out. We was able to kind of coexist while we were together.
Which is why all countries push their members to actually get married, because that's the best way of organizing people. It has nothing to do whether you're happy or not. The thing is, they're not incentivizing guys the way they used to. What they're working on. Anybody else? Closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go.
And thank you, V, for coming up, man, because you actually helped me make my point. So
yeah, it's like I said before, Equalizers talks like, and he was in the last chat that we did with all this, right? With that female that was out of her mind, that was a teacher. Yeah. It's all about, a lot of these people don't want to talk about their social class. I think they get bent up into trying to project too much about how they've dealt with women. Correct. And then we project that onto other men. But the fact is that you just need to know what social class you're in and where you're trying to get to as your goal. Yeah. And then if that marriage thing that you've been socialized to be by the entire government apparatus, because they need your taxes, you get more taxes from married families.
Yeah, well,
more money, and that's
the thing is, we all know that the single family households cause a whole lot of problems for society. That's why they're trying to it costs them a lot of money, especially as a two-parent household. It does, but we'll go into that maybe tomorrow or something like that, because I guess we want to close it down today.
Yes, the link is in the chat.
Okay,
I'll start this motherfucker.
Go ahead and get it started, man. I'll actually project it before I actually close out. Okay.
All right, it's in the back chat too.
Okay.
Now you about to shut it down, BJS?
Yeah, closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, so because I don't want to start up the conversation again.
No, we're not gonna start it. We're not gonna start.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just thinking about something as we were sitting here. When brothers marry women that we know that ain't about shit, what reason are they marrying if it ain't to secure some guaranteed box?
It's because that's the way they've been taught. Okay, they've been taught. They've been taught to be married. Same reason women demand marriage. They've been socialized to be married. Otherwise, getting married to get boxed wouldn't work. It has to be socialized into you. Because women don't stay married anyway. Black women, but they want to be married. So
the 90% clip.
Yeah, right. And basically, nowadays you don't have to get married to get boxed. Just have a. If you have a house, you can get boxed. Okay.
Okay.
The army get boxed. But go ahead.
Maybe at one time, okay. I follow what you're saying, but maybe at one time, it was like that. Because grandma, your mom ain't letting nobody bring no woman up in the house to be married.
In other words, before the pill, guess what happens if you had sex without marriage?
You got pregnant?
Got pregnant, and guess what? You had no guarantees.
You had to get married.
Yeah, you had to get married. So that's why sex and marriage, especially on the women's part, was necessary. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Trust and believe, guys. In-house is not as important as you think, because most guys, it's a long story. Anyway, we're not trying to go into the conversation again. All right, go ahead. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, closing thoughts.
Once again, my closing.
Go ahead, Albert. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Once again, my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts is, if you're going to get married, young brothers, get a prenup and do everything you can to protect yourselves. That's all I got.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sauchi. Go ahead.
Yeah, as usual, appreciate the space and the time. Reminder, as usual, these are just suggestions. I guess people, I don't know why the English language is so hard for us here. This is weird to me, but and a lot of guys need to realize that, women are human beings and they're far more practical than you think. So it behooves you to, again, understand the laws where you reside and just move accordingly. That's it. And just be unapologetic. Like, you don't have to lecture these women about anything. It's like, this is where I'm going. If you want to go with me, okay, let's make it happen. But this is how shit's gonna be structured. If she's not about it, leave her. I mean, literally, in that moment, like, all right, good luck to you. Until guys get to that point, like, shit is just gonna change very slowly.
Yeah, and people really need to study the history of marriage, man, because they think marriage is something that it's not. And that's what the psychiatrist was telling you, what it was for. I didn't believe him. The attorneys are telling you what it's for. You don't believe them either. It's about sex. It's not about sex.
It's not about sex, and it's not about love.
It's not about love.
Especially not about love.
No, never was. Anyway, closing thoughts. Mental agility, V.
Yeah, let me go.
Okay.
So first and foremost, aide de camp is a job that nobody wants. So you get
really
nothing. But so what I want to say is this: majority of service members are white, right? So you in soft skill MOS means that you're going to have more black service members than white service members. So all I'm saying is, from what I've experienced, I've had white guys look up to me. I've had white guys cry on my shoulder and tell me who they are. They marry for the trim. Now, am I saying that's the right thing to do? Absolutely not. You can rewind it and see what I want you to do if you need to get whatever it is you get. Guys flock that. That's when the guys have the carrot in their hand and saying, hey, I got BAH. Come be with me. You come be with me, and I'm supposed to get sex. But, we'll take this conversation over there to Charles Faulkner's stream, and I am down to chop it up.
All right.
Chat. Thank you.
No. Hold on. Let him finish. Go ahead.
Thank you, BGS, for giving me this platform to talk to, and I'll see you guys later.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Go ahead, V.
BGS, I always say the same thing at every end of all your videos, man. 20-year-old, in my 20s, I think that you all are saving the youth. That's what y'all here for, and I appreciate it. And I don't think that a lot of it really does disappoint me, but it kind of is a black pill in itself to see all these grown men come on here and argue. It's a black pill within itself to see these grown men come on here, argue with you, and have less emotional stability to not only yourself, but then younger members that come on here and try and get your wisdom from you.
We're bucking up against his worldview.
And it's not, and this ain't brown nose and this ain't kissing ass. It's just like, you come to this space and you want to learn something. Truly, you want to get more knowledge than you had prior to coming into this space. You're starting to realize how the world is around you. You know what social economic class you in, and you take everything for granted because of what was fed to you in the blue pill side, right?
Yeah.
When you come here and then you actually get the truth, and you got niggas that want to come on here with the nigga mentality that want to continue to bring you down and argue about pointless shit. Most of the conversation that was had tonight was not needed to be had. Most people came on here because they saw the great video that you were analyzing and you were able to post and break down piece by piece. And that's why I came on here tonight, because that's what I was watching when I was in the Chick-fil-A line. So that's all I got to say, BGS. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man, for actually co-signing what I was trying to say. Okay, appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger.
Peace.
All right, peace. Oppo, you got the last word.
Yes, sir. That's a fact what he said, because I'm in my 20s as well. And, bro, the game y'all were giving us, bro, you saved me from a lot of shit, bro. You, Angry Man, Charles, bro, Doc T.S. Johnson, Ron O'Neal, bro, everybody, bro. The shit y'all say, bro, is valuable to us, bro, in our 20s. We are listening, bro. Trust and believe, bro. We are listening, bro. We are taking shit, bro. I put my friends on this shit as well. Whether they take it or not, that's up to them, bro. But hey, bro, it's out there, bro. So I appreciate what y'all do as well, bro. And thank you again for your stream, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
All right. Let me thank some people for donating real quick. Albert, thank you. Albert Hill, thank you. Mental Agility, even though we disagree, thank you for the Cash App. Indigo Flow, appreciate you. Mental agility twice. Okay. Oh, he's gonna be a patron. Okay. And Gregory, thank you for the cash app. So I think Charles has something going on. So he posted the link into the chat. So go over there. The conversation is probably going to be very heated when it gets over there. So go check it out. So anyway, until tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably do something with Psychax talking about the value of sex in a woman. Actually broke down something I actually want to touch on. So I'll do that tomorrow. But anyhow, I said I miss what is it? I make Chick-fil-A. Okay. All right, folks. Until next time. Peace out.